When is your respirator turned down? 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 Doppler, that's it. Your respirator, when is it turned on? Your respirator, when was it turned on? They're in.
Let's go! Music brought to you by Depth Chargeable, which is Todd and yours truly, Ryan.
And also Hermit Convention, who does some of our music, Ryan.
Oh, who is this handsome man?
Look at that guy's in his 70s.
Welcome to the LeafCast, a first-time reader show based on the epic fantasy series Duel of Time by Robert Jordan. My name is Ryan, and I am currently forgetting that I don't have to use my hands to dust myself off in Tarvalon.
And I am Ryan's brother Dan, and the glory of the light did shine upon him, and the peace of the light did he give men, binding nations to him, making one of many. Yet the shards of hearts did give wounds.
Go on, shards of hearts.
Yeah.
Well, I hope when I die that shards of hearts will be given out to those lesser than, I guess, what I mean by the living, which is always lesser than the dead.
Is that when your heart has a wet fart?
Yeah, right. Ladies and germs, humans on all the spectrums, welcome to the LeafCast. This is a first-time reader show, and again, we are going to finish off Fires of Heaven. We have been trudging through this on a weekly basis. Brother Dan, we've been doing this for over 2 years.
Yes, about 2.5, over 2.5, I think, officially. And here we are, finally at the end of Fires of Heaven. This is why why we started this, Ryan, so that we could finish.
Just to get to Fires of Heaven?
Book 5.
No, no, to go to all books, bro. Actually, we're not going 14. We're going 15 books. After Fires of Heaven, we're going to dive into New Spring. That's right, New Spring. The prologue. This is all very confusing to Josh. He keeps questioning us. Why is this happening? Why are we reading New Spring after book 5? Brother Dan, you voted a while ago.
Well, speaking of Josh, why don't we bring this handsome man in? Is he ready yet?
Well, let's see. I think, my sources say, yeah, he. Sources.
Sussy Josh.
Sources. Seriously, we need hey, there's 7 people watching. Let's get that up to 14.
7? Only 7 people want to hear?
I know what's going on. I think there's other shows competing what's going on, but it's okay. We love them all.
Look at Josh is already at the beginning again. He's doing a reread.
He's doing a reread.
So we're evaluating the beginning.
Hello, Josh. How are you, my friend?
Hey guys, I'm all right.
You're all right? I hope at the end of the show you're going to be better than all right. I hope you're going to be great.
Yeah,
is that too tall of a task?
We're Maja.
Okay, I believe you, Josh.
Great again.
Maja.
Maha.
Oh, welcome.
We're ready.
Oh,
welcome.
It's not Old Spring. It's New Spring.
It ought to be.
Well, we have reached the final 4 chapters of Fires of Heaven. We have finished the book. Yay. Congratulations, Josh. I'm sorry that it took so long for us to get to the end, and I appreciate your patience always and forever.
I don't understand why they packed so much action into the last 5 chapters of this book.
Well, that's just the way it kind of goes. It's like a tsunami. It's like all the water leaves the beach, and everyone's like, "What's going on?" And then, boom! Here it comes, this big old wave. Right?
Yeah, I guess so.
So yeah, 53.
There's some razor clams down underneath that wave.
Razor clams? Is that a drinking obligation?
Yes. If he says
only
it.
If you're a surfer.
Slanja.
Evenly.
All right, I guess Ryan. Well, gosh darn it! Thank you.
Thanks, Matt.
For Josh to get away the leaf beanie.
Oh,
Ryan.
No,
Ryan.
I mean,
I
truth.
recognize Josh's covered forehead as being advertising space.
No, hey, no. The truth about Josh's beanies, he will not wear just your normal beanie. If you really look at Josh's beanies, they're hand selected to be. Yeah, he finds them in Barcelona, Spain. I think he bought one in Russia.
Russia. That's all I keep thinking about. Right? Thank you, MaTsDaGger. You're the best. Always.
You are the best, Matt. Thank you. Yeah. So we're starting with 52. Is that right? We
are starting with 53. 52. It ends with Moraine and Lanfear going into the.
Oh, that was choices.
Right, and so.
Okay. So yeah, 53 through 57.
56.
What is Glowing Embers? 56?
Yeah. And the glossary.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You got that too.
Okay, it is 4 chapters though. Okay, I was trying to remember. It is 4 chapters.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Tom may or may not be with us. He was just on Twatcast. He's so in demand, guys. So hopefully he'll be in, and hopefully we'll have Case of Ice Today be joining us in a little bit as well. But we are going to,
we are the land of empty promises right now.
Yeah. Hey guys. Hey guys. Remember those people we said were going to be here? No, I'm just kidding. No, we're going to yoke it.
I believe it's called a Promised Desert.
The Promised Desert, huh?
That's right.
Oh, hey.
We're just dry. Yeah.
That is not promising.
No. Ryan, go ahead and let's go ahead and jump into chapter 53.
I'm fully ready and willing. I feel like we need some.
But he's not. Notice how he didn't say able.
Yeah, no, he's willing.
No,
willing
and I'm note that I did not say confident either.
We're trying to break things up a bit. Traditionally, I have run the chapter recaps, but we're trying to spread the wealth a little bit. And Ryan is going to take this one, and I believe the last chapter as well.
Oh yeah, I'm bookending this bad boy, but we got 4 chapters to get through, so we're gonna be very steadfast and kind of broad stroke this. In chapter 53, called Fading Winds, Rand's POV takes over, and we get to see Moraine basically like a linebacker from Chicago Bears football. She takes her down in a body tackle in through the gateway gate.
Were you just making a reference to Fridge?
I love the fridge.
Me too, man.
Yeah. No, I was thinking more Mike Singletary, but
okay.
If you want to go Fridge, I think there's more athletic than Fridge. Fridge would just kind of fall
Fridge is just
her.
like a wall, just like wall.
Michael Singletary, when he was the coach of the Niners and dropped his pants and said, "This is a man," or something.
No, he wiped his ass and then showed them the shit smeared toilet paper and said, "You guys are playing like shit."
Is that what it was? Okay.
And then he got fired, as he should be.
Wacky.
All right, well, wait up. You just did a Mike Singletary on my recap, Brother Dan.
Right. Welcome to my world, Ryan.
Right? Yeah, no, I'm ready.
I know what it feels like.
I know. I have a small book, small print, and I'm trying to be present. Yeah. So we have all this happening, and Rand is basically grappling with his feelings, but also the absence of feelings. Right? Did you notice that?
Sure. I mean,
yeah. So he runs over to see if Egwene and Avienda are okay, and they appear to be okay, but Egwene is effed up. Right? Rand has no abilities to really heal, which is still very interesting to me. And who comes along? It's Solana. What's her name?
Solana.
Okay,
Let me ask you: is the phrase "Avienda on her knees holding Egwene" is that a drinking obligation?
No.
Okay.
No. But Soralea comes in and she is badass. She is not even taking in the moment. There's no empathy in her except when she cracks and you kind of see her faltering. But she comes in upbraiding Rand, saying, "How dare you? Of course, Egwene, you're suffering because you're following a stupid man's plots. Blah, 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 blah." What do you think about Soralea right now, Josh? Like a good waitress, I wait till he sips for the question.
I mean, she's still a pain in the ass. I don't know. She's kind of a badass, though, still, too. I mean, we already knew that, though.
Yeah. And the announcement
unpleasant for the badass.
The door frame itself although it is stone, it is melting like wax.
Mm-hmm.
It is smoking furiously. And Lan is talking with Rand, and he's like, "Yeah, she's gone. I can't feel her. She's gone, and she passed my bond. Dang it, I gotta go."
Yeah, and here we go. Yeah, and this is what we knew this is coming because she foretold this to Lan, but it is happening now. what do you think about how Lan is kind of taking this?
I mean, clearly he had been separated. I do love that, like, Rand catches him like mid-stride and holds him there with air.
Yeah.
And he was like, he was cool with it. He's like, yeah.
He's like, that's how out of it he is. Yeah.
You're right. If I had the power, I would do the same thing.
Yeah,
right.
this is kind of sad actually for me. Like, Lan, and we'll get into it more with New Spring, but Lan had committed his life to Moiraine. His whole goal was to protect her, and he couldn't. He got thrown like a rag doll under a dang.
He certainly got he got ragdoll physics around the room.
Yeah, and that's it. And then he has to leave. Yeah.
So yeah. So he's distraught, and then we hear him talk to himself, saying, like basically pull the Band-Aid off. So he makes up that lie. The one moment we've seen this man crack, literally the one moment in all of these books, is when he's telling Rand to tell Nynaeve that he found another woman.
Yeah, it says
literally the one time we see him crack.
Crumpled in anguish. An instant, then it was granite again.
So, and Rand saw all that, and he's like, yeah, I don't think she'll believe you, but whatever, fuck off. All right, so for reals though, what do you think is going to happen with Lan? Lan's fucking off. Like, where's your imagination taking you? What do you think is going to happen with Lan?
I'm assuming he got bonded to Nynaeve. I know he thinks it's a green.
Okay.
But my suspicion is that Moiraine bonded him to Nynaeve. And he's now headed to Saladar to meet up with her. But I don't know.
I love it. All right, we have 15 people watching. I think just with just the slightest bit of effort, we can get this up to 30. Let's go, everybody. Let's go.
By the way, Ryan, we should. Ryan, you issued a challenge. You said there's 7. Let's get 14. We got 15. Good job, chat. You guys. Well done. Well done.
I think they're all sitting there with a thumbs up their ass, but maybe, and it was just a happenstance.
How were they able to type so quickly?
Because their phones are in their anus. Right.
No.
It works.
No. They're anal beads, and they use them for chess competitions. Remember?
Right. Yes, to fool them. Yeah, he's the grandmaster.
Hey, Rook takes knight.
Josh, I love that reference. Vibrating anal beads.
Rand kind of says, "The last embrace of the mother welcome you home, Lan."
All right. TAVERN has a butt board.
There you go.
Yeah, that's why his spelling's so awful.
The last time we heard Rand say this, I believe, was Ingtar. Right? When he was doing his thing, and he's like, "I'll hold him. I'm not a dark friend anymore." And he's like, "The last embrace of the mother welcome you." He's like, "Thanks, bud."
Oh shit, Dan! Good callback.
Yeah. Moiraine dead, Egwene injured, and Lan gone.
I mean, just to make the point, I don't believe that Moiraine is dead. Okay. I don't believe it for a second.
Right on.
She's not. There's no reason to think that she would die from going through the gateway.
Yeah.
She's where the Elfin and the Aelfin are. She's in their folded adjacent reality.
But like Josh, so like, let's talk about this shit though. Like, Lan thinks she's fucking dead. Lan knows a lot about the world. Why you're literally assuming you know more than Lan?
No one knows how these gateways. Lan doesn't know what the gateway is, probably. Second off, he has no idea about the Elfin and Aelfin being aliens in a parallel plane of reality, and how that can affect their connection or not. And besides, we know that Moiraine fucking disconnected him from her before she went and did this thing so that he could then go and be someone else. So there's no reason to think that she's dead.
Okay. Right on.
I am 0% that she's dead.
Well, do you think that she could take on Lanfear?
Moiraine?
Yeah.
I don't care if she can take on Lanfear. The Elfin and the Eowyn are going to take care of that shit.
Okay.
All right, and then the chapter ends with Sulin coming in and being very.
Ryan, we have the notes. We have Moiraine's notes. She wrote a letter to Rand.
All right, yeah. So she wrote a letter. No, let's get into it.
Sorry,
So
go ahead,
no, you're right. No, I suck at this. I seriously, I have a small, tiny book. I had she wrote notes, and one of the, amongst the notes, she specifically mentions that there are 3 threads, and one of them was this, one of them was that, and one of them was the one that actually happened. When you
Here's
think
the
about
quote, it says there were 3 branches from the docks, but if you're reading this, I am gone, and so is Lanfear. The other 2 paths were much worse. Down one, Lanfear killed you. Down the other, she carried you away, and when next we saw you, you
called yourself Lucerne. Yeah,
were
right.
Her devoted lover.
Now, what does this mean? Like I want to kind of dive into that little fucking analytical brain. What does this mean about the cosmology of this world when there are 3 threads? She walks in, she saw 3 possible threads. What does this mean in terms of like how time
Free
works?
will.
Is it like the flicker portal stones?
No, it's free will.
Is this Is this multiverse theory that everything that's ever happened has ever happened, and every choice she ever made is ever going to be made, and everything like is it that like?
No, it's about Rand had an opportunity to make choices that would lead to any of these 3 paths.
Okay.
He chose the one that led to this place, and she identified it.
But why can? Okay, so let's get into that. Why can
Well,
you?
she had the
wait, hold on.
Right?
How can you foresee choices that are going to be made in the future? Like, right? Like how?
Who had to foresee choices?
Moiraine saw that there are 3 paths that were going to happen, and now you're saying that later on it's based on free will, and I'm saying how can that possibly be when she saw that there are 3 paths? Rand had to be involved in one of them, I guess, for this.
Right. So Rand's decisions led him to be in one of the. Rand could have ended up in any of those paths.
So at any moment, does Rand have only 3 choices?
No.
Well then, okay. No,
that doesn't make any sense. It's a branching tree of causality, just like the real world.
But Moiraine saw 3 different causalities.
To Ryan's point, yeah, exactly.
Moiraine saw 3 possible futures.
Uh-huh.
That doesn't mean that all of them happen concurrently. That doesn't mean that any one of them is more likely than another. But once she knew the one that was the least affecting, she was able to go and try that. Why do you think she behaved in ways that were un-Moiraine-like? In order to steer Rand towards the reality that she thought was the most impactful and the least harmful for everyone. And that got her long-term plan that she's been working on with fucking Swan since they were teenagers into place. That's why she acted so different and was willing to bend to Rand's knee. And I mean, now there was no way she could guarantee that the decisions he would make would lead him to the place that it did. But she knew what to watch for.
She knew that there would be one of 3, though.
Yeah, and she knew that if she got the letter from Morghese, that she was on this middle pathway about Morghese dying.
No. She thought that once she got the announcement from Morghese, one of 3 things would happen. Not that, like, once you got the letter that she was on the right course. She thought, okay, once I got the letter from Morghese or the announcement from...
It does not say that. It does not talk about the ordering of those things.
No. She said once
there were 3 branches from the docks.
Yes.
So from the point at which if she didn't sacrifice herself to kill Lanfear, those other things could have happened.
She saw.
It's her free will to sacrifice herself.
Oh shit! Okay, now this is different. Okay, go on.
Yeah, it was her decision whether or not to sacrifice her own life to take Lanfear into the portal. If she did that, then Lanfear wouldn't be around for him to end up on the other branches, right? The docks that she's referring to, the 3 branches from the docks she's referring to are where she takes him to that day.
Yeah, because she knew something fateful was going to happen that was foretold. So she said, okay, Morghese was announced. Let's go to the docks, right?
Yes.
Okay. But at that point, you're saying that there were one of 3 things that were possible that were foretold to her.
She wasn't successful. The other 2 branches were possibilities.
Oh, is that? Oh, okay. So there's a true path for her laid out.
That's how I read it, anyways.
I love it. That's fucking awesome. That's really cool.
And she doesn't know what happens with Egwin and Aviendha, because in the path where she dies, that's where her story ended.
Yep.
So she says, "I hope Egwin and Aviendha have survived unharmed. You see, I do not know what happens in the world after, except perhaps one small thing which does not concern you." I'm assuming that is about Lan, but I don't know.
Uh-huh. Now, like, can I before?
Or maybe that's about Tom, and it has to do with the letter that she sends to Tom.
Okay. Okay. Go. Do you want to talk further about that?
I don't have any more information.
I don't know, but any speculation?
It's either about Tom and Morghese reuniting, or Tom becoming Moiraine's warder in the future.
Okay, I love that. Awesome.
Cool. So does this letter and Moraine's paths and such? Does this hole into that any of the TAVERN or prophecy stuff? I mean, so
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
So Rand is a TAVERN. He also has prophecy surrounding his life. She had these 3 paths that she had seen of the future. She said that once
these are 3 possibilities
came, then shit was going down in the docks, and it could have gone one of 3 ways. But could it really have, or not?
It definitely really could have, because we know that there are worlds in which the Dragon Reborn sides with the Dark One, and ones where he fights against the Heroes of the Horn as opposed to alongside them. We've heard that several places throughout the text.
But from whom do we hear that?
The Heroes of the Horn and the Forsaken.
Both, the Heroes of the Horn say that the Dark One, or is it just the Forsaken?
The Heroes of the Horn said, I think it might even have been not Lews Therin, but who's the other main male character from history?
Archer Hawkwing?
Archer Hawkwing says, we've sided with you for innumerable times throughout the turning of the wheel. Sometimes we battled on the same side, sometimes against one another.
Wait, yeah, was that?
Pretty sure that was Arthur Hawkwing.
Okay.
I think that was maybe Balsamon in the prologue. And that might be like a...
In the prologue? You're talking about during the Dark Friend Social?
The prologue of Either World?
In the Dark Friend Social.
No, Either World prologue.
Right, when he's talking to the actual...
Where he's talking to Lews Therin. No, it happens in the story too, for sure. They talk about it in the story. Someone talks about it in the story, for sure.
All right, so
I don't
Arthur
remember
Hawkwing
who.
says him and Rand have fought on opposite sides before in Book 2. When they called the Heroes of the Horn.
Yeah, when they called the Heroes of the Horn. That's what I'm talking about.
It's just...
Yeah, that's another weird mind.
We still have not really come to terms with that as a show
I'm not sure how that works.
I totally free will.
Does that mean Hawkwing sometimes fights for the Dark One, or sometimes Rand fights for the Dark One, or is this in the other Rand?
I think Moraine's vision tells us that I'm convinced that the Dragon Reborn sometimes is not on the right side of the battle. If this is the right side that he's on now, there are times when he is not on that side.
All right, so so if he's on the, let's take it to that logical conclusion. Some eras or ages, the Rand figure is a dark friend and is consumed by the dark. What does that mean, and why are we now able to have a battle for good and evil now? Right? So if it's happened in the past that Rand's been consumed by the dark, why is we still able to have this continuous battle for good and evil? What does that mean?
That it resets every time the wheel resets?
But what is the real? So the dark one, does that mean the dark one can never destroy the wheel? Like, even if Rand is on his high...
I think that this is a special time.
Okay.
I mean, that's the idea of apocalyptic expectation and messianic proclamation. Is that this time alone is a special time at which the dragon, who isn't Rand necessarily, Rand has never... We have no indication that Rand has ever been the Dragon Reborn before.
What does that mean, Josh?
If it's true in this cosmology that souls are reincarnated, do we think that Luz Theron's soul is Rand's soul, or is Rand al'Thor a separate soul from Luz Theron?
Right, and was Luz Theron himself a dragon reborn?
Or was he the original dragon?
Or was he the OG? Yeah, exactly.
So either way you spin that, if Rand is Luz Theron and Luz Theron was only the original dragon, that provides an opportunity for this to be a unique turning of the wheel, at which point not only could the Dark One break free of his prison for all eternity, maybe that's never possible. Another possibility is that just isn't possible. That no matter what happens at the turning of the wheel, the Dark One is re-imprisoned, or the balance is restruck between the Creator and the Dark One. Or Rand is the same soul. Like, I don't think that Rand is the same soul that has been the Dragon Reborn over and over. That has to be Luz Theron, if it's anyone.
And that's what everyone is calling him, Luz Theron.
And he remembers Luz Theron's memories.
Well, right. like what we know, everything we know goes back to the Age of Legends.
Okay.
But there was all kinds of... The wheel keeps turning. The wheel is turned before the Age of Legends.
Yes, yeah, and I love that, like, Josh is going into that, and I'm fucking stoked, and I hope... Like, hey, we got 15 people watching this. Don't you think 30 people should be hearing Josh?
I think 20 should, Ryan. 20 is a good number.
Twampy?
It's 20.
I'm always just want to double it.
Yeah, I know. You just always, like, get a friend.
Well, I do wonder, I mean... Okay, don't we know that Luz Theron lost? Okay, so in the original prologue, Luz Theron didn't succeed, right?
What do you mean succeed?
If succeeding at Tarmangaiden is defeating the Dark One.
There's no Tarmangaiden. I don't think Tarmangaiden happened. I think Age of Legends
for the
Age of Legends was something else.
I have fought by your side times beyond number, Luz Theron, and faced you as many more.
I know, but is that a reliable narrator? That guy thought he is a Dark One. And then he died, and this shit's still going on. Like, it's like, why are we believing this guy? That's why he's so crazy.
Well, this thing. So, is Hawkwing always good, and the dragon is the variable, or vice versa? I mean,
both. Why couldn't they both be variable?
Yeah.
And so, what are you saying about the Age of Legend, Ryan? I'm sorry, I don't quite understand your point. The Age of Legend. Happened in this turning of the wheel, yes?
No.
Yes.
The previous turning of the wheel.
No,
Whoa.
I'm sorry. Yes.
You both just answered different fucking answers.
Yes, it was. It wasn't this age, but it was this turning.
Yes,
you're right.
That's what I thought. Okay, thank you. So, but the
bowed to
wheel
you,
has
brother.
turned.
Mwah.
No, I didn't do that. I bowed. Don't you want to kiss my head? Fine.
Mwah.
That's weird.
I was kissing your head, top of your head when you bowed.
Go on, Josh.
Mwah.
Okay. Whether we accept infinite turnings of the wheel prior to this or not, we know that during the age. So, did the lose therein that is in Rand's memories live during this turning? Or are his memories from a prior turning?
Or many prior turnings.
Right. Well, so what we see in the prologue, did that happen in an earlier age of this turning?
No, what we saw was the breaking of the world that happened to introduce the third age.
Yes, this is all in one turning. Yeah. This
that
is
was the end of the second age.
Yeah,
Of the
Age
third
of Legends is second age. We are in the third age. The breaking happened between second and third.
Yeah.
So if we take that as our timeline, that means that the dark. So let's just say, okay, the previous turning, maybe Luce therein was successful at the end of the second age, and re-imprisoned the Dark One, rather than the Dark One having the opportunity to break free again. That could lead to a different outcome where possibly he could break the wheel for eternity. Yes?
So I
You see where I'm going with this?
Yeah, I love that, but let's remind.
And I think that's his goal.
No, but I also want to remind you that what we know about the Age of Legends is that their advancements in technology and research caused them to break the Dark One open.
It was the classic Adam.
It was the technological open. It was the detection of the shared true source that was not divided, that caused them to pierce the barrier that held the Dark One, that the Creator placed the Dark One behind.
That's funny. I think of it as just being science broke religion's hymen.
Well, no. This was the classic knowledge, the tree of good and evil, the tree of knowledge. This was the apple. They tapped into something that wasn't permitted to them. They were trying to go beyond their parameters, and as a result,
but I don't think that there was. I don't think that there was an Edenic. I don't think that life during the Age of Legends was necessarily Edenic. There was still death. There was still.
There are flying cars and green men hanging out with Ogiers, like fucking like just like
they just made forest.
Come on, they're hanging out on street side cafes. Everything's having a great time. It was an age of wonderment. Like seriously, like their advancements. Like we went from there. We went to like castles that are underdeveloped.
Right.
And like settings and shit. Like we went way back. They had to like reconstruct all of it, but they were super advanced. I think it was because
advanced doesn't. But it doesn't. That doesn't imply a Garden of Eden. I mean, Garden of Eden. I'm just questioning Dan's metaphor.
Oh,
the Garden of Eden
well, yeah. Fuck
is
that
a place
metaphor.
of innocence in undeveloped nature. Like, so I get your point in that it was
better.
A better place.
Better. It was. I mean, the university they studied in was called Paradisen.
But enough. But listen, the fucking Forsaken were already on the path of darkness during the Age of Legends.
Well, they were skeptics.
Somehow, the Forsaken occurred.
Yeah, because Elon Musk tenderness.
Yeah.
Elon Musk.
Oh my God! Light blindfold. Bonus points. Light blindfold.
Light blindfold. You get bonus points. You get 5
wow. Yeah, wealth does not equal intelligence.
This chapter ends with like the maidens all wanting to do a ceremony to regain their honor by stepping on their spears. They broke 2, and Sulin broke 2 and was going to break the 3rd. And Rand's like, no, wait. What if you break the 3rd? And she's like, well, if I have no honor in this life, perhaps in another. What would the maidens do if they broke all 3 spears? Are they going to just go... what happens if that 3rd spear breaks, Josh?
Kill themselves?
Yeah, man. But golly, man, way to overreact, dummies.
I agree. And let's move on to the next chapter. There's nothing else really going on unless Josh, look at your notes and tell me, do we miss anything?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, Rand essentially says, fine, I'll bring as many maidens as you want. He wanted to protect the maidens. He doesn't like seeing ladies get killed. He is a weird white knight chivalry kind of thing. So he's like, fine. You guys are weird. You don't give me any choice. And they're like, yeah, you do. So we go to chapter 54. It's called To Camelin. And guys, look at a map. Look at, we even see the palace. We see the lion. We have a like a bird. Camelin looks kind of boring, but it's big, I guess. I don't know. It's not. I don't know. Anyways, Camelin, guys, Camelin. This is a Rand chapter. He is like, all right, fine. We're you guys, you can bring anyone from your society. That's fine. All the societies are coming, so it looks like there's 500 from each society. Met 6,000 IEL that he was planning on bringing to Camelin. He's like, well, I guess I promised. I guess I got this big army with me. But he can only make a gateway to carry so many people. He tried to make a big ass gateway. He makes a gateway. Well, not gateway. What is it? Traveling, a little bus depot
Platform
where they all get on, and he tries to add more stones, but it feels like they're insubstantial. And at one point, his feet are starting to sink into it like mud. So he's like, "Well, no, we can't bring them all. Can't bring them all. No more." But there's a bunch still. They're on there, and they're in this weird world. It says that it doesn't seem like night because he could see himself and he could see the stone fine, but everywhere else was like impenetrable darkness. And as they are traveling, one of the IO actually falls, and he's like, "Oh fuck!" He says, "Quote: Falling forever through endless black. Would sanity crack before death came from starvation or thirst or fear? In that fall, even an IEO must eventually find fear strong enough to stop a heart. He almost hoped so. It must be more merciful than the other."
Jeez.
Whoa. You imagine like falling and then like starving to death because you're just falling for days?
Josh, let's break it down.
Hey, Josh.
What was that like?
What am I breaking down?
You're falling. You fell off the skimming platform. What's your experience? Do you have no heart? This person fell. You're like, whatever. You heartless wench.
Trying to remember what movie it is. The movie where the dad like disappears into like this parallel reality,
Honey,
and he like
Inner space.
He witnesses like his daughter through these like TV screen. This like
Taken 2.
fractured reality. No, it's a relatively new movie.
Uh-huh.
Hunger Games.
On something or other. I imagine it's like that. Like, yeah, you're just falling through empty space. You either get squashed by the gravity, or you just die falling. Because
I think
Interstellar. Thank you. Yes, Interstellar.
Once you hit terminal velocity, you don't feel like you're falling anymore, and so fear would.
Have
be
you guys
gone.
seen
I
Interstellar?
think they would die of boredom.
Wait, you think it'd be like a Joe Rogan, like a
Have you guys
flotation
seen
tank?
Interstellar?
No, I saw Inner Space.
No, I didn't see him.
You should definitely watch Interstellar. It's a fucking amazing movie. But I imagine it's kind of like that in a weird way.
Apparently, Aiden knows about Interstellar, Dan.
Yeah, everybody knows about it.
Hey,
Tell him to go to bed.
I'm surprised you guys haven't seen it.
Foster film. Ask Aiden. I don't watch movies.
Yes, obviously, yes. Every time Josh is speaking, we are the ignorant assholes, and he's on point. Please.
Yeah. Josh is on point. Exactly.
You can't get this guy off. But I just want to say hi to Goat Brother. Yellow.
Goat Brother.
Yellow. New names. Yellow.
Hey.
Goat.
Hey,
GB.
speaking of new names.
Anyways, they travel through a wormhole in this movie.
Sure. Hi. Good to see
They
you.
travel through a wormhole, and the
like
way that they portray it is really fascinating and interesting. And I imagine that's what falling off the platform in the ways space, or this interspace between the layers is.
Yeah.
Anyways.
No, Donnie Darko is the only wormhole I can digest.
Isn't Interstellar? Don't they fall very slowly? Don't they just drift? And they're like,
hey.
I can't.
Yeah, you're like just dying. Like, hey, are we gonna hit? I don't know. Let's talk about our lives.
They just see the ship slowly going away. There is a drinking obligation here, guys. I'm going to read it aloud. Quote, Asmodean fingered his sword and breathed too quickly.
Oh, goodness.
That counts, right?
No, yeah, hello. Yeah, anytime, fingering your sword. But for real, it's like, what does that even look like? That's so unprofessional to just finger that shit.
Just a nice little tracing of the cheek with your thumb.
Nope.
But the sword.
No fan. Nope. Nope.
Matt stared up at the wall as though at a bad remembrance. He had entered the palace this way once too. They are at the wall, guys. It's all full circle. We're back in Andor at the wall. But once they step out of that gateway, Imran has to stay on the platform until everyone leaves, because apparently once he leaves, the platform is no longer, and there would be a whole bunch of Aiel slowly. No. And they all spread out like they're gonna kill 500. I'm gonna kill.
Why not, right?
But he's not there for that. He's there for Ravine, and Ravine knows that he is there.
A dream of a dream, Asmodean calls the space that they travel through on the skimming platforms.
Right, a dream within a dream. And they also don't, there's no sense of motion. I don't know how an able-bodied Aiel person fell unless they were pushed. Guys, that's my thought. You don't fall off a platform.
Hey, curiosity killed the cat.
Yeah, maybe. But he's like, all right, we're here. We learn from Nynaeve when she talks to Mogideon that Ravine set traps all over, so that as soon as he felt someone channeling, he would know. And guess what? As soon as they're there, suddenly lightning comes flying out of the sky. He's like, Rand's like, no. Throws up a big dome. But it wasn't quick enough, man. Quote, There had been more than one bolt in the first volley, but not all had been aimed at him. Matt's smoking boots lay a dozen paces from where Matt himself sprawled on his back. Tendrils of smoke rose from the black haft of his spear, too, from his coat, even from the silver fox head, hanging out of a shirt that had not saved him from the man's channeling. Asmodean was a twisted shape of char, recognizable only from the blackened harp case still strapped to its back. And Avienda,
I do love that we learned that the necklace doesn't protect against male channeling.
Well, that's another question. Is so what if a female Aes Sedai had, instead of throwing a weave, had thrown lightning at him? What would his
It's a good point. I mean, is the lightning pure one power, or is it electromagnetic energy that's being created and directed by the one power?
Right. If they had thrown a boulder at him, would it have stopped it because it was one power fueled?
No, probably not.
Yeah. So who knows? So, but it did not protect him here. And Avienda, unmarked, she could have laid down to rest if she could have rested staring, unblinking at the sun. Ran his three buddies are dead.
Brother Dan, Aiden Morgan has a great point. Did you see this?
Aiden always has great points.
My assumption is them falling off is with how Rand's feet are sinking in. There might have been weaker spots where a whole person could fall through the bottom.
Ooh,
Ryan, you're kind of glitching out.
Bro, am I max headroom?
Not your audio. Your audio.
I'll restart.
I didn't understand that comment. My assumption of them falling is how.
So remember when Rand was first on the platform, it felt a bit insubstantial.
Yeah, but we know that this person fell off the edge, not through the bottom.
Oh, is that it? It said someone fell. A bulky man near him said at last.
Yeah, someone. I thought they said someone fell over the edge. Someone near the edge fell off.
Yeah.
I thought. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, it just says murmurs came across the platform. Someone fell. And then he turned to stare into the darkness. Anger, a stain clinging to the motionless void. So, yeah. It doesn't really specify one way or the other.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can't imagine someone falling through the platform. I feel like more people would have gone, but...
Yeah, it's possible. Either way. But yeah, it's weird that an IF fell. Anyways, I guess. So yeah. Matt, Avienda, Asmodean. Toast, baby. Burnt toast. Left in too long. And Rand looks at the sky and says, Robbie! Blah, 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 blah. Trollocs. The Mirdraws show up. We do have to drink because whenever Robert Jordan uses the phrase all too human eyes, is a drinking obligation. Well, for me at least, Josh. Rand gets all stoked. He's like, yep. Bring him on. Kills him. Kills them all. Then he sees Ravine, and he's like, boom. Rand barely noticed them. Ravine, he said, or someone did. He was not sure who. Sending fire and lightning ahead of him, he stepped through and let the gateway close behind him. He was death as he's chasing Ravine. And then it jumps to Nynaeve. Nynaeve is teaching Swan. Swan is not doing that great, but she has the twisted ring, Terrio, while Nynaeve has the sleeping woman, Terrio, that she's channeling into while she's asleep. I mean,
this is a pretty great section. It's also annoying that it's mixed into the middle of Rand. Like, why couldn't this have happened some other point other than these last few chapters? But I get that she needs to be there to help him in the end.
Right. Right.
It's cool that she is able to create a ter'angreal within the TAR.
We see,
love that.
we see Nynaeve like level up in Tel'aran'rhiod big time. She suddenly kind of has like like the understanding of how it works.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, yeah, I just got to know that this collar's around her neck, and boom, there it is. Ryan, welcome back.
Yeah. Thank you.
Is a drinking obligation? You answer this. Snatch or bald?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Snatch or bald? Is a Swan slaps the shit out of Nynaeve.
Thankfully.
And they start again another drinking obligation quote. They start rolling around and quote, she did not know whether she was on the top or the bottom half the time. Is that
No. Well,
all right, only one. Then
Theodrin tries to teach her how to break her blockage. Theodrin herself was a wilder who had a block, and Nynaeve fails, so that pisses her off, right?
To the point where she's crying in the woman's arms.
Yeah. Then Swan comes at her about it. Nynaeve's like, "Fuck you." They fight, and then they settle down.
Right. Nynaeve brought up Gareth Bryn, and Swan's like, keep Gareth Bryn out your mouth.
Yeah.
And slapped her.
Yeah, she Will Smith.
She Will Smith him. Yeah. She's like, all right. She sees movement in a window, and she's like, oh fuck, that's probably Mogideon. So she's like, we gotta go. Swan's like, bitch, you don't tell me what to do. You gave me this gross tea. I'm sleeping for like 4 hours. You're gonna train me the whole time. And Nynaeve rips the ring off her neck. Swan's like, no, gone. And she's like, dang, what did I do? Did I put her back in her body, or is she somewhere else? I don't know. But she's like, well, just in case it's Mogideon, that's bad. And she had jumped to Karri as soon as that happens. She's like, all right, well, dang. And she talks to herself out loud, of course. She's like, well,
as is her want.
But to just tell him I saw Mogideon. And Mogideon's like, yeah, but you'd like to run errands for them. And she's like, whoa. Mogideon's obviously much stronger. Brigitte shows up. Brigitte's like, hey, Mogideon. All big braid, big girl, big bow, silver arrows. Like, hey, Mogi, eat this.
Dun 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 dun.
She makes the arrow disappear, Mogideon does, and turns Brigitte into like a 4-year-old. Which was fucked up. Nynaeve's like, oh, okay, here's the only way I can do it. Please don't hurt me. Please. She's crawling. Please. As soon as she gets close enough, it says, Nynaeve's hand wavered a span from Mogideon. It had to be close enough. There was only her and Tel'aran'rhiod. The image formed in her head, and there it was, silver bracelet on her outstretched wrist, silver leash linking it to the silver collar around Mogideon's neck.
So I think this is the important part, is that she's learned, she can't channel in the state she's in the Tel'aran'rhiod. But she's mastered the TAR in a way that Mogideon doesn't understand. I think that's really interesting and fascinating.
Cool.
It says suppressing Mogideon's attempt to stop her was simple. The Adam was a link with her in control. Knowing that made it easy. Nynaeve did not want to channel those flows, so they were not channeled.
Channels, right.
She takes control without using the power by just using her mind and placing a Adam that did not exist beforehand around this woman's neck. And Mogideon's like, whoa, shit. whoa, shit. Brigitte's still a child. She's like, restore her. She's like, I will if you let me go. And she's like, you're not making the rules here. And boom, Brigitte's back. And Brigitte, I guess, had put the ring on her herself.
Yep.
They're like, well, shit. We're here with Mogideon. Mogideon's like, I got some news. I got news. Hey, guess what? Lanfear, Grendel, Ravine, and Samuel are plotting together, and they are drawing Rand al'Thor to attack Samuel. It says that Mogideon says that she knows that, quote, al'Thor means to go after Ravine today, this morning, because he thinks Ravine killed Morghese. I don't know whether he did or not, but al'Thor believes it. So Ravine had set those traps.
Okay, so this does bring up a question about Tel'aran'rhiod, which is, so Swan not being able to channel was still flickering back and forth. Her dress was changing, whatever. However, she didn't seem like she could control it. So
Go
is
on.
Mogideon, okay, Nynaeve stops Mogideon from being able to alter Tel'aran'rhiod with the collar. I quote, Nynaeve felt a slight shifting in herself in the Adam as the woman tried to bend Tel'aran'rhiod to herself. Suppressing Mogideon's attempt was simple. The Adam was a link, with her in control. In order to manipulate Tel'aran'rhiod, do you have to use the one power? This would imply the answer is yes.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. But have we seen anyone who is not a channeler able to use Tel'aran'rhiod?
Well, Swan was there. Now we see Brigitte there.
Wait, Swan
with
can
the
channel.
ring.
Well, you're right.
No,
You're right.
Swan cannot channel. Yeah.
All right, you got it. Yep.
So, but then that brings up the question of, that loops all the way back to Perrin and the Wolf Dream. What does that then say? If Perrin in the Wolf Dream can control Tel'aran'rhiod, what does that say about Perrin being able to channel, or the wolves being able to channel, for that fucking matter? Is it different for men than it is for women? And if so, why? Is it different in the Wolf Dream from the Tel'aran'rhiod? If so, why? Is it only because Mogideon... I mean, one other possible explanation is that Mogideon doesn't understand the TAR well enough to manipulate it without using the one power, and therefore falls prey to the trap Nynaeve sets.
Okay.
So yeah, just a bunch of questions.
Yeah, right.
And no real answers. You know.
She was so cocksure, and she was slowly weaving this shit and like doing this whole kind of like super villain shit where she's like telling her story. But yeah, like why was she not privy to that attack from her? Yeah, awesome.
I do know. I agree about the. She sensed her intent to change TAR through the Adam. This is Matt's comment. She can feel her feelings, not her power. Okay, but why was she not... I get that, Matt. And then she's not able to use the power. But my point is still there, then. If she has to use the power to manipulate the TAR, can people who are not channelers manipulate the TAR?
Well, and I'll ask this further of you, Josh. So in further, a little bit later in the next chapter, she is using Mogideon's use of the power against her. So she puts air in her mouth. She ties her hands down. She is using her own power against her with the Adam. But does she need the Adam then? Or could she have just done it?
That's a crazy good question, Brother Dan.
Thank you. Mwah. Give me your head.
No, why would she be able to do it? No, I guess the question is if you can channel. So Nynaeve is not able to use the one power in the Tel'aran'rhiod through the sleeping lady, right? Or she is, but it's very weak.
It's not
even when she's angry.
Yes.
It's so weak that Mogideon's like, whatever, fuck you. I'm just gonna lazily weave this weave because you're so powerless.
I guess let me ask it this way. Could a wise one have done the same thing? A wise one dreamwalker.
If a wise one knew about an Adam, could they have captured Mogideon in the same way?
Right.
They would have had to, okay, so again, this gets to the question of what makes the reality of the TAR? Is it knowledge of the thing in the real world that creates ownership, quote unquote, of an object within the Tel'aran'rhiod? Like, why? It doesn't make any sense that an imaginary Adam, a dream created Adam works the same way it would in the real world. Why is that?
Exactly. Why is that?
So what gives it that power? Is it the knowledge of the dreamer who's creating it?
Is Nynaeve a dreamer?
Well, she's a dreamer now through the thingamajig.
Well, I mean, she's currently dreaming, but I know, but like she's dreaming, but like
she's only a dreamer because she's using a whatchamacallit. Fuck. What are those things called?
Terrio?
Terrio, thank you. Okay. So let's follow this through to its logical conclusion. If using the Terrio makes Nynaeve a dreamer, and knowledge of a thing gives you power over the thing within the dream world, because you can create it in the way that it would exist in the real world. And even not knowing what it is, it still works on Mogideon, then yes.
Yeah.
A dream walker, a wise one who knew what a Ter'angreal Adam was, could then create an Adam that would work within the dream world.
All right, so did she channel to make
Does that make sense logically?
No,
I love it. I love
it does.
It
Josh.
makes sense within the confines of your little brain. It makes sense.
Well, no, but we also have in the next chapter where Nynaeve makes the leash go away, and the Adam is still effective.
Right.
Yeah.
Which Elaine had given her the idea about.
Correct.
Elaine was like, "Oh, this chain is fucking not really needed."
All right, so did Nynaeve channel
with the fake leash?
All right, so very specifically, Nynaeve channeled. Did Nynaeve channel to make the Adam?
No, she used.
What does she
her
use?
power? Hey, she used thought within. She used whatever you use when you change the dream world.
What is that? Okay. Do you think that skill will? Is that a skill that only?
You're still breaking up, kind of, Ryan. Maybe you're too close to your mic or something. I don't know. You're kind
is that skill only related to Tarvalon? The
TAR.
TAR, yeah.
Yeah. So if we think back on other instances of this that we've seen, we know the dream. We know the wise ones can do this, who are dreamwalkers. We know Egwene created that zombie that scared the shit out of, was it Elaine or Nynaeve? I forget which. But that was in that she couldn't, that even with no knowledge of, well, so that's what's funny. Whoever that was that she created that zombie for Do you remember who it was? Was it Elaine or was it Nynaeve?
What zombie are you referring to? I'm sorry.
No, I know what you're talking about. Like
Egwene creates like a zombie who like these two zombie people who like attack one of the other girls within the Tel'aran'rhiod. They're like rapists, kind of like coming at her.
Huh.
I remember this.
I'm not doubting you. I just don't remember. I don't remember.
It was Nynaeve, what the Holocaust, he says. Okay, yeah. So, and Nynaeve is like, fuck you afterwards. She's like, that felt too real. And it like referenced some real world event that she had had.
Oh, the accepted test.
Is that what it was that it was referencing? It was she was like leveraging knowledge about Nynaeve where Nynaeve shared something that happened during the accepted test.
I think the only time that I think that Nynaeve was threatened with sexual assault was in that accepted test where a Forsaken who was all rotting was chasing her in a maze.
Yes. Oh, yes. Okay. And I mean, I guess she did experience that when she actually engaged with those two rotting Forsaken too. It was kind of like the reality that they're all referencing back to that event with the Green Man, right? So anyways, if we think, so I'm going to compare that to Nynaeve's use of the Adam within the TAR, right?
Okay.
Egwene was able to create that very real seeming experience that Nynaeve couldn't escape from. Nynaeve, in this case, creates a very real experience of a thing in the Tel'aran'rhiod that Moghedien can't escape from. Now, maybe a Dreamwalker who's truly skilled could have escaped from the Adam.
Okay.
Nice Sparksfire.
That's another good question. Let's say she would the Adam only work on people who can channel, or could she put this on anyone?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. I think because Moghedien's power within the Tel'aran'rhiod is through the one power, through Saidar.
Yeah, Saidar.
Then Nynaeve is able to leverage that to create this negative experience for her within the Tel'aran'rhiod. I
got a question. If Moghedien never ever knew what an Adam was, would it have been effective?
I've already addressed this. Yes.
Fuck you.
Moghedien didn't know what an Adam was, and it worked on her anyways. Oh, Jesus. Classic.
Ryan does not take constructive criticism well.
No, I take space and I come back. I'm good. I mean, like, obviously needed more space.
But yeah, no, Ryan, I did try to address that earlier in saying that, yeah, I think even though she didn't know what it was, it worked. And that was part of what makes it so mysterious. And that's part of what brings up this question. That's why I compare it with Nynaeve's experience of the rapists.
So what did we think about how, like, she specifically said she was feeding off of Moghedien's anger to be able to continuously like channel, right? Like that hit me like a ton of bricks when I was preparing for this show. Like that makes me think that anyone who's controlling an Adam, you can either feed off of the emotions or you have to block them. But either way, you're being affronted.
Well, isn't that only because Nynaeve only is able to channel when she's angry?
Wait. Well,
I don't think that would work for anyone else. It only works because she's a wilder with a block, whose block is broken down by anger.
You wouldn't think she's just more specifically focused on that, right? Like I thought she was just like, she knows her block. And she was like, oh my gosh, this bitch is so angry. I'm like feeding off of this. This is great. And she moved forward. Like, I wasn't thinking like it had something universally like attuned to Nynaeve. I just thought she like was able to suss it out. Like she's able to suss out a lot of shit, which is why she's so cool. She like in the moment is able to really parse things out.
I don't think those two things are necessarily in opposition to one another.
If I was in the same room with her, I would slap you in the face.
Right?
And you would not feel it because it's all felt. And I think Dan's lost in thought. Like
I'm here. I'm here.
Help me out. Am I up Shit's Creek or like?
Do you have a specific quote that you're thinking of, Ryan?
Motherfucker. I have a no.
Get your tiny book, Ryan.
Okay. Tiny book's coming out.
Only the Adam let Nynaeve know there was fear in the woman, almost a gibbering, but pushed down to a muted buzz. She wished the thing let her know what Moghedien was thinking as well as feeling. Then again, she was just as glad to not be inside the mind behind those dark eyes, cold dark eyes. My impression was that there is a feedback circuit here between Moghedien's anger and Nynaeve's ability to only channel when she's angry. But I agree with you that any channeler who's controlling someone through an Adam would be able to feel their feelings.
But did you? Yeah. I thought that the relevant point that I took away was that Nynaeve not only was able to feel the feelings, but she was able to channel it and feel her own.
What do you mean by channel in this context?
She said,
are you using that word in a pejorative sense, or do you mean literally using the one power?
No, I'm sorry, not channeling. She was able to like, siphon it. Let's have a siphon the anger from Moghedien to fuel her ability to channel, which is her block.
That's what I'm saying too. We're in agreement.
Yeah. High five. Yeah.
So why are you going to slap me?
Because you look at you.
Just look at you.
Because you sound like you're arguing with me the entire time, and then all of a sudden, like your mouth's on my dick.
I wasn't arguing with you. I just said that both things can be true. And you were like, "Fuck you! If we were in the same room right now, I'd slap you."
I was saying, "Get off my dick." I'm full of love.
Oh, totally.
Is there anything that you wanted to talk about this chapter before we took a little break?
Oh, we need it.
Well, by the way, I did not mark up chapter 55 at all. Tom was supposed to do it. So, I mean, I'm familiar with it, but I didn't mark it up at all. So
we'll do it together.
We're going to do it together.
Yeah. Mrs. M agrees with me.
Mrs. M?
Surprisingly similar. Oh, my last name
that's what I was saying too. What the fuck? I never disagreed about that part.
That's what you did say. I'm not sure if I agree. I don't know if Moghedien had anger per se. The anger that Nynaeve was feeling was not able enough for her to channel. However, with the Adam, she could use this channeler just like the Shanshin. So there was no block with the Adam at all, as far as I'm concerned.
No. Like the idea is that like, and the quote is that Nynaeve says, "Oh my god!" Like, basically, like, "OMG, I'm feeling myself off her anger. My anger is but a trickle." Like that's the quote. Like it's very specific. Like she's feeling her ability to channel off of Moghedien's anger.
She is.
Through the Adam. Yeah. So Dan kind of downplayed that. I think it's actually really important because what that says is the person who's in charge of the Adam is affronted by emotion. The person who's controlling the Adam has to actually, like, if someone's angry, which they probably are because they're fucking chained up, they have to actively.
They're not angry though. They're cowed.
Well, at some point, but at the very beginning, they're going to be angry. Like the idea that like you feel anger, like I'm just thinking about like this idea, like so Nynaeve.
Well, think about it this way.
Wait, hold on.
The women.
Hold on.
Think about.
Hold on. Nynaeve was able to channel it. What other?
Don't use that word.
Other. Nynaeve was able to like siphon it to fuel her channeling. Other women are having to what? Ignore it, block it off.
Right, so this is what I was about to answer. Yeah, think about it this way. all of those Suladam are women who can channel but don't know it,
No,
or are
yeah,
basically
yeah,
like
yes.
Wilders, like Nynaeve, who probably have blocks around being able to channel.
Oh, you think? Oh,
What if this is the common experience of all Suladam?
Okay, interesting. Like, there's
I don't
like
know that's true. I'm just saying that. Think about
No,
it.
I
That's
like the
one possible
speculation.
explanation, right?
I like that. I like the speculation.
The Adam seems to work identical in every other way.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. Howie Stevens says is Howie, or is it Stephens? I think I'll go Stevens. This is kind of raffo, but Nin didn't need anger to channel via the Adam. I don't.
Right.
Whoa. I don't. What? I don't believe that. Actually, I don't.
So it
I
says
don't
here
know.
we have to go to KayK. I do at least.
If Howie Stephens is here, I'd fucking slap his ass.
Well, I kind of agree with Howie that
No.
that-
Go on.
Okay, so actually, let's go into this before we take a break. And I know you guys want to take a break. Ryan, if I'm understanding you correctly, you're saying that Nynaeve's use of Mogideon's power within the Tel'aran'rhiod through the Adam
Yes.
is Nynaeve channeling.
I'm saying Nynaeve stated that she was using the anger to support her ability to
Forget about that for a minute. Yes, we agree on that. But listen to my question.
Yes.
Are you saying that what Nynaeve is doing with Mogideon's power through the Adam in the Tel'aran'rhiod is Nynaeve channeling?
That's a very good question. I hate you for that. It makes me think that maybe she just was telling herself that she need. Yeah, like now I'm. Like,
That's
all
Howie
tripped up.
Stevens' point. It's not
Well, I mean,
Nynaeve
Howie's-
actually channeling. It's Mogideon's channeling being directed by Nynaeve.
That's what I thought. That's exactly what I'm saying. She understood in the moment. I am not powerful. I'm only surviving because
I'll read
using,
the quote. We have to go to Camelin. I do at least with her. This is her talking to Brigitte.
Yeah, talk to me.
I may not be able to channel strongly enough to tear paper as I am, but with her, the Adam, I can use her strength.
Yes.
Just like a soul down.
Yes.
Yeah.
But does she actually?
And as I've been looking since she was collared, Mogideon does not display anger in this chapter. She has fear. Is she?
No. She's angry up until a point, and then Nynaeve gets shut off, and she goes, "Oh my
she's
god!"
angry to a point.
No, she goes, "Oh my god!" Mogideon gave up, and that's when Nynaeve was unable to channel anymore. That's what happened.
That's
bro.
later.
Like,
That's later. But here, it's like all she feels is fear, and there is no anger coming from.
Right.
I mean, I'm reading the words. There's no anger that once she gets collared. Maybe in the next chapter it happens, but not in this chapter. But yet she is still able to
use her
throw
channeling
metal
ability.
on her to do.
Right.
She's able to do soul damn stuff.
huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think she's tapping into her anger here, at least.
Maybe early on, but not later. Yeah. So at the very beginning, Mogideon's hand leapt up to the collar, shock rounding her eyes, rage and horror. Rage more than horror at first. Nynaeve felt them almost as if they were her own. Mogideon had to know what the leash and collar was. Okay, well that's kind of interesting. Yet she tried to channel anyways. At the same time, Nynaeve felt a slight shifting in herself in the Adam, blah, blah, blah. Horror overwhelmed rage. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Whether or not like you have a grasp on cosmological facts or whatever, like what did you think about it? Like, did you enjoy this? Was it fun to read? Like, this is
What?
crazy. The last 3 chapters before we get the last chapter.
I mean, it's kind of frustrating that this was all happening in the last 3 chapters. I think I mentioned that.
Well, you
kind of pissed me off a little bit.
And our personal like
yeah.
stream. Yeah.
I don't know. It's like
go into it. Like,
couldn't he have broken some of this up to happen so that it wasn't just this giant peak before the end of the book? I don't know. Like, I would have liked it to be apportioned out a little bit more.
Okay.
And I get that that part of it is that Nynaeve had to be there to help Rand at the end. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's like, and you want to know what's going on with Rand, and here you are, like, with Nynaeve and Moghedien. It's like, oh fuck, come on! Like, are we going to get to know what happens more with Rand? Is the book just going to end? It was kind of frustrating.
And it just does. And you're right. And like, yeah. You're right. Yeah.
I wasn't a fan of how he wrote it. The pacing and the way it was broken up. It left me feeling unpleasant as opposed to it leading me on. It did make me want to read on, but not in like a way where I was going to read linear. I was like, I want to skip ahead and like see what happens with Rand. Like, like it didn't have that, like, the desired effect that I assume he was trying to get for me personally.
Okay.
But
I love it. Yeah.
Maybe that's just me.
And you think that's because he saved the best for last, or is it just not like, what is, like, right? Like,
I mean, it was a little unsatisfying. I mean, it's a little unsatisfying that so much happens in such few chapters after being strung along for 856 pages of the book.
All right, so what do you mean by so little happens? We have the king of Andor being dethroned in a violent overthrow.
No, a lot happens in these last chapters. What I'm saying is the whole book didn't have that much that happened. Most of it was chasing fucking Osama ben Khuladin.
Yeah, Osama Khuladin, I think you called him.
Osama Khuladin,
okay,
exactly.
I love it. Okay, all right. Yeah, and you're right about that. And like, many people will probably agree with you. Yeah. Like, we did this whole thing.
We'll talk about this at the end. Let's take a break. I need a break, Ryan.
I do too.
All right,
baby girl.
We'll be back soon.
Let's go. We'll see you at 10. We love you. We respect you.
Narg is smart. This much is true. Now is the time to judge how our beer has helped you. Narg smart. Narg I'm going to use my normal voice here for this campaign. My name is Narg and I'm running for mayor of Edmondsfield. Narg is smart. I mean, I'm ridiculously smart. I went to the best schools. I was the top of my class. I studied civil engineering and city planning. I know what the Two Rivers and Edmondsfield specifically needs. I have major plans. I want to develop indoor plumbing, central sewage. I want to use the wine spring itself as a generator for electrical power. Because, frankly, I am concerned with the Edmondsfield plight. We came in and I see houses that are mostly still made of grass and straw, and this just isn't progress. Progress equals jobs. Jobs equals prosperity. Prosperity equals more children for Nog to eat. But I promise that I won't eat any of Edmondsfield children. I'm sure it's just the bears and the wolves. Please, when you go to Trolloc as your mayor, thank you and have a blessed day. Edmondsfield deserves better. One who follows the law down to the letter. Narg the Trolloc is the go. Narg the Trolloc has my vote. weak and lacking power? Are you barely paid by the hour? Why don't you join our wholesome group? Instantly be in the loop. Join the Shadow Pals and we will have some fun. We'll hunt some villagers and farmers on the run. Come join the Shadow Pals, I bet you'll rise in rank. Would not be imprisoned, somewhere cold and dank. Join the Shadow Pals. Join the Shadow Pals. Join the Shadow Pals.
Bella Horse. Bella Horse. Bella Horse. Bella Horse. Run away. Run away. Run away. Run away. Save Edwin. Save Edwin. Save Edwin. Save Edwin. Save the world. Save the world. Gotta save the world. Save the world. Bella!
soon. Sir, we're closing soon. I really hope that you make it. I need proof of vaccination. I need proof of vaccination. That's all I need. It's closing. We're closing soon. What? Door's closing in 3 seconds. There's nothing I can do without proof of vaccination. Door's closing in 3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, humans on all the spectrums, we have 20 seconds left till
yeah, the hell.
Yeah.
That's nice.
My favorite one though is when I nailed Rebecca with it.
What is that sound?
I will figure that out. Sorry.
Hello, Ryan. I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Every people on Discord, mute, please.
Yeah, please mute now. Mug discipline. Didn't we go to school with the disciplines, Mike and Corporal?
24/7.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, guys, turn that shit off.
There's God. Hey, everybody. We are returning for the second half of the First Time Reader Show. We are finishing up Fires of Heaven. Everyone, how are we doing? Where is our first? There he is. All right.
Hello.
Normally we'd have Tom from Dragonmount, but he is waylaid, so we're gonna carry on without our.
Are we getting K?
She will. I hope so. I hope so.
Ryan, you're still breaking up a little bit, buddy. I don't know what's going on.
Brother Dan, are you experiencing that? Is everyone else in chat experiencing me breaking up?
Yep.
Or is it just fuck? Really?
Yep. You are popping like a microwave.
Popping like it's hot.
My God.
Pop it like it's hot.
Ah. How about this? Are we better? My godness. My God. My godness.
That sounds better. Sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
Chew.
Sure.
Yeah. Appease me.
All right. So
back.
we're jumping.
I wake
into
up every morning and I say, appease me.
Chapter 54, we didn't say it, but chapter 54 at the end, Nynaeve is like, well, I got to go to Camelin. That's where Rand is. I don't think I can help him, but I got to go there because I can't do anything while sleeping. So come with me, Mogideon. We're going to Camelin. And boink, that's what they do. Then chapter 55, chapter 54 ends with, still she had to do something till Ranriad changed around her. And then chapter 55 is called The Thread Burns, and it starts with Rand. Rand is in the palace, the royal palace as well. And he is having a mighty internal battle with his old buddy, Lews Theron. Lews Theron is just so gabby. He's emo as heck. He's like, forgive me. And Rand's like, I'm trying to think here. Gareth Bryant, but all this stuff. There is a bunch of the Andorn guards. They were called the Queen's Guard. There's no queen now, and they're serving a king. And apparently these are all dark friends as well, because there's a Myrddraal there. And Rand freezes them. Freezes them solid.
Pretty cool.
It says the Myrddraals upraised arm broke off with a loud crack. When it hit the floor tiles, arm and sword shattered. He sees like some just normal people. It says, quote, a man and a woman crouched against the wall. Servants, liberty in red and white, were there. And Rand walks by, extends his hand, and says, go in peace.
So this stuff with like all of Luz Theron's memories coming through,
Yes.
it puts it in a really interesting, like, going forward to where he enters the Tel'aran'rhiod in the flesh, where presumably Ravine is the one who's pushing Luz Theron's personality onto him, it appears. How do we then take that in the context of what's going on at the beginning of the chapter? Because Rand thinks it's Luz Theron's voice who yells no,
Right.
rather than his own when he's starting to be taken over. But so there's two possibilities: either Grendel or any of the other three Forsaken who are there, other two, other than Grendel, Ravine, or who's the last one? Samael. One of the three of them are either doing it to him while he's awake in the real world, causing Luz Theron's personality to come out more than it normally would, or that's the only thing I can think. I don't know how. I wasn't able to figure out how to put this in context.
Well, let me offer you a supposition. What if Luz Theron's voice is a manifestation of Sidine's use? This is actual madness, and the more he is embracing it, the more the Luz Theron comes out.
But how does that then?
Like, think of it as like a multiple personality.
I still don't see how that explains what happens in the Tel'aran'rhiod,
where
Luz Theron where he battles Luz Theron, but Luz Theron's voice is the one that says no, and then it stops.
Right. Neither do I.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. I can't make those two things make sense together.
It said he felt odd, insubstantial. He raised his arm and stared. He could see the garden through coat sleeve and arm as though through a mist that was thinning. When he glanced down, he could see the walks, paving stones through himself. No! It was not his thought. An image began to coalesce. A tall, dark-eyed man with a worried, creased face and more white in his hair than brown. I am Roniel Thor, Rand broke in. He did not know what was happening, but the faint dragon was beginning to fade from the misty arm held in front of his face.
Mm-hmm.
So he fought to picture himself in his own mind, struggled to make the image of what he saw in the mirror every day shaving, and it was a frantic fight. The two images waxed and waned, the older, darker man and the younger with blue-gray eyes. Slowly, the younger image firmed. The older faded. He said, why had Luz Theron tried to take him over? To make him into Luz Theron. But he also thinks that it might be a trap as well. You know.
But he says, wait, it had been Luz Theron who shouted the adamant no. Not an attack by Luz Theron, by Ravine, and not using the power.
Mm-hmm.
If the man had been able to do this back in Camelin, the real Camelin, he would have. Had to be some ability he gained here. And if Ravine had gained it, perhaps he had it too.
Right, and then he starts playing a little bit with Tel'aran'rhiod.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, so it says he focused on the nearest rose bush, a thing of span high, and imagined it growing thin and foggy. Obediently, It melted away to nothing, but as soon as the picture in his mind was nothing, the rosebud was suddenly back, just as it has been, and Rand nodded coolly. It had limits then. He wished that Luz Theron was still in his head because he, quote, The man might know this place and its rules.
Yeah.
He's following this where Ravine goes, the crackling of siding still in the air as it is.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the two things can both be true. He can be going more mad in the real world, and this still be an attack by Ravine.
Is Luce Theron real?
I don't see why not. I mean, what do you mean by that?
I mean,
are his memories of Luce Theron actually memories of Luce Theron?
An actual
Yes.
disembodied voice in his head battling for his sanity.
I assume it's how he... My read of it is that it's like how he interprets memories from a past life.
Okay. Okay.
As opposed to it being like another soul battling inside him.
Except for this occasion where he is feeling himself become insubstantial. And he actually sees a face.
But that only happens in Tel'aran'rhiod because reality can be bent there. Now, is it Luce Theron bending it within him, or is it an attack by Ravine? I guess it makes more sense if it is just memories that it has to be an attack by Ravine rather than Luce Theron doing it to Rand.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. No, that makes sense. We do have a drinking obligation, guys. There is the phrase gaping holes.
Gaping holes, huh? I gotta turn off.
Yeah, I'm a dirty old man. Come on.
I get that. I get that.
How old and how dirty, bro?
Super.
Unrevealed.
Yeah.
As yet unrevealed.
You know, my favorite line in The Lion King is when Scar, before he turns evil, is talking to young Simba. And young Simba goes, "You're a weird guy, Uncle Scar." And Scar goes, "You have no idea."
No idea.
Yeah.
I say that all the time, actually. You're like, "Dude, you're weird." I'm like, "You have no idea." Like Jeremy Irons. Oh, Ryan, hit that music. We got a special guest.
We do.
Oh, where you at?
I know.
Welcome back. We've missed you.
Tonight.
I did not know where you were. Oh. You're muted.
I said I made an entrance like a dragon, right?
Yeah, I noticed that. I thought it was super cold where you were.
It is a little bit that. You know, it's California, so.
Hello, Kay.
Spiritually. Hi, how are you?
I've missed you and I love you. It's good to see you.
I've missed you and I love you, and it's good to see you too. Thank you for having me back. Where's little Sophie Jessica?
Always and forever.
He is mouth breathing in the background.
Who, me?
Josh is mouth breathing in the background. He'll join us soon.
Well, Kay's back. He's trying to catch his breath, Ryan.
Yeah.
I relate.
Yeah. Hi, Critter.
Fun.
Yay, Critter.
Hey, MaTsDaGgerX. Hello, Wotaholic. Hello, everybody. It's so good to see everyone.
Guys, the band's back together.
I know. The band's back together. Are you guys in Discord? I mean, mine keeps like kind of rebooting itself, but you know.
Let's focus on this.
Can you hear
Hey,
me?
you just missed a drinking obligation where it said gaping holes.
Oh my gosh. Well, I shall.
There, that girl. I'm glad you're here. Josh drinks maybe 1 out of 4 drinking obligations.
I got you, buddy. I'm here.
He's
I'm
a
here for you.
discerning obligation.
Oh, there.
I'm drinking all the time, though. Come on, give me a break.
He's like,
I don't have to drink during your actual obligations.
Well, I mean, hence the term. Ryan, I was glad to see a random Bella show up. That made me happy.
I needed a second.
Oh,
Sorry,
it's fine.
I went with it.
So we jump into Nynaeve point of view. And Kay, if there's anything about like what we've talked about so far that you want to bring up, by all means, the floor is always open.
Oh, thank you so much. I'll get there.
Okay.
There's been some stuff. I know there has. Mostly, I guess, off the top, before we get into the next thing, I was really excited. Well, I think this is part of it. Yes, this is part of it. Moraine realizing that, like, it was one of, like, the 3 options and of what she saw in Ruidian, and then deciding, like, okay, well, saw the other 2, and that didn't happen, so this must be it. Writing my letters. I'm doomed. Here we go. Walking into it. She was so elegant. Wore her, she wore her finest. Everything. It was. I'm sad about Moraine.
So do you think she's dead?
I do think she's dead, Josh.
Oh,
I think
whoa.
that we
Okay.
haven't seen her body, but I do think that she could
I don't
be
think she's
dead. I
dead.
mean, the way that Lan and her like don't feel the same thing. I don't know, like how that connection was broken is fascinating. But Lanfear survives. I don't know. So
My
I know
prediction
you-
is she's 0% dead.
Well,
I know
let me
your
bring this
prediction.
up.
I think that she might be like, mostly dead.
Mostly dead.
Well,
But not all dead.
Let me bring this up, Josh. So, in theory, you are not allowed to cross the threshold again. And in fact, if you try, you just walk to the other side. There is no portal anymore. You're also not allowed a channel in there, from what we know.
Right.
And both of that shit was going on big time. The door frame.
No, she has never been through that doorway.
Okay.
She went through the other stone doorway,
Well,
the one that was in the castle, but she didn't go through the one that's in Ruidian, presumably.
Okay. Okay, I hear you. Okay.
I really thought she did. So I
think she had the vision so she had the vision during her visit to Ruidian that she would take Lanfear through the stone doorway. She was fascinated by it and kept checking on it while it was on the wagons the whole time because she knew that was what was going to happen. That was one possible outcome after the docks.
One possible outcome.
At the docks.
Right.
And so assuming she knew that and she knew she couldn't go through it more than once, there's no reason to think that she would have gone through the gate after visiting Ruidian when sent while she was still there.
Info, though, then
What info?
the information about she saw there were paths. She saw
Because that's what they see, right?
Who's they?
When the wise women go to Ruidian, they go through the rings. And they, like during the accepted tests, they have 3 visions of reality. They have visions of the past, present, and future.
Okay.
That's where she witnessed it, was during the wise woman component of the tests in Ruidian, the thing that they do the first time they go to Ruidian.
Besides culturally, then, could Moraine have been considered a wise one?
I don't think she went through the second part of the trial. So no.
Okay.
In the same way that Avienda is not yet a wise one.
Okay. Right on. That's a good answer. I like that.
That is a good answer. I'm going to go with that.
There was a discrepancy in the book compared to the audiobook, Ryan. So I like to mark up my book while listening. And here
Talk to me.
it says, so this is naive thinking. Had that been Ran or Ravine, she had seen bars of white fire, liquid light like that in Tanchico, and she had no wish to be anywhere near one again. In my book, it says Balefire was one weave she did not know and did not want to know. In the audiobook, it said it did not say Balefire. It said it was something that she did not know and did not want to know. So it did not name Balefire in the audiobook, but here it does. So I'm not sure why the change was made.
I think the versioning, I think that the audiobooks must have been made from like the first version or something of the text.
So I don't know why they changed it.
I just want to say good night, Goat Brother. That's really cool. But good night. I haven't seen that name. Is that new? Is Goat Brother new? But he's going to bed. So good night, Goat Brother.
Bye, Goat Brother. Sleep well and wake. And have dreams of large women.
Dear women?
Large women. Living large.
So Nynaeve is in Andor in the palace with Mogideon. And the palace is tore up. She sees all kinds of stuff going on. In fact, there's Ryan, is this a drinking obligation? 10-foot gash?
Oh, good morning.
No.
Okay, all right. No 10-foot gash.
Crazy.
10-foot long gash. All right.
Why?
So she's seeing all kinds of shit going on, and Mogideon's like, bro, we gotta split. Get me out of here. Yeah, we gotta go. Nynaeve's like, no, hey, chill, baby, chill, baby, chill. She I didn't mark this up. I generally fucking do, and I didn't. So she was like, yeah, I would rather have you hurt me than have the Forsaken kill me. We're not in a good spot right now. Nynaeve's like, yeah, I don't care. We're going on. We're going on. And the way that she convinces Mogideon to listen to her is through torture. Quote, she said, so Nynaeve is remembering a day when she was 16. She had stolen a plum pudding, and the aftermath, sending it along the leash in a lump, made Mogideon's eyes pop. So she was remembering her ass kicking, and she was sending it to Mogideon. And it says, quote, grimly, Nynaeve did it again. She won't stop me short. Again, I will help Ran whatever she thinks. Again, even if it kills us. Again, oh Light, she could be right. Ran could kill us both before she knows it's me. Again, Light, I hate being afraid. Again, I hate her. Again, I hate her. Again, she sends that shit a lot, and she looks over, and Mogideon was all like bound in air, so she couldn't make a sound, but she is just weeping. Tears are streaming down her face. She's like, oh, all right. But quote, deliberately,
I can reenact it.
Hardened herself. Is that right? Is that drinking obligation?
Yes.
All right, Nynaeve hardened herself. Thank you.
Hardened.
Yeah, it's weird.
Thanks for checking in.
But checks out.
Hardened. Checks out.
And They go on. They're like, fine, we're chasing. I hear footsteps. Hey, there's footsteps. We're gonna go. We're gonna chase these footsteps, and they go on. Then it flashes to Rand, and Rand is still chasing Ravine. And
I mean, we do know Nynaeve is a sadist, right? I mean, we already know that.
Right.
From her stitching of people as a wise woman, and like, I mean, she has no problem delivering torture. I mean,
but she says,
if that's what you mean. I mean, I don't.
What?
Oh, can you not hear me? The music's very loud. I'm hearing a little bit of a weirdness.
Oh, I don't hear music at all. Is there music, right?
Oh, weird.
I can hear the music, but you were kind of cutting out. Maybe I don't know what was going on, but
Better?
Yep, sounds good.
Okay.
What were you saying though?
Well, now I have no
Something
idea.
about not liking Nynaeve?
About the torture?
Oh yeah, well I just don't like Nynaeve. That's all. I don't know. I don't know what the freaking point was other than that. You said something, I said, well, we don't like Nynaeve. It made sense at the time, I thought, and I'm hearing myself echo now, so now I gotta figure this out. I'm fine. Everything's gonna be fine. You carry on. You guys are doing great.
But Nynaeve does have some self-awareness. It says here, quote, Nynaeve gaped at the other woman's tear-streaked face, then stopped what she was doing and hurriedly unraveled the flows of light.
What had she done?
Yeah. But then she hardens herself and she's like, well, no, I'm a badass. I'm going to do what I want. So yeah, Nynaeve, this is problematic, but she realizes that she was a bit over the top, I think, but this is within her character arc to use physical violence in order to kowtow people. There is one, Ryan, is this a drinking obligation? Her breath came too fast?
Yes, absolutely.
Right, thank you.
So I do love that Balefire, even in Tel'aran'rhiod, messes with the order of time.
Right. Well,
this thing about the trees being stuck atop their roots and then not, and the towers being damaged and then not, and then damaged, right? It's like in the real world, hitting something with Balefire does revert its reality. What happens in Tel'aran'rhiod when you hit something with Balefire is it seems to bounce back and forth between possible histories in the same way that it does when you are there in Tel'aran'rhiod, and the things in the real world that have short lifespans either are not there or are fluctuating, right?
I like your point about how Balefire does affect the real world. But we do have these two men that are in there in the flesh, which is different than what we have seen.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that Nynaeve would have seen the same flickering, don't you think? It's not like Rand just saw it because he's there in the flesh.
No,
right?
That's a good point. And it does seem like Tel'aran'rhiod, while everything else is on a 4K network, they're using a dial-up. So Tel'aran'rhiod is like... It's like things are processing and error messages occur.
Yeah, it's like an 8-bit world all of a sudden, like stuff's just going wrong.
That's a sound that will never leave me, by the way. I cannot replicate it, but if I ever hear a modem dial-up sound again, it'll take me back to AOL, where they sent those CDs to you in the mail. Anywho.
I always thought those
Mogedian-
CDs were gateways to porn.
I was stoked about a free CD back in the day.
Well, that was the thing. We paid $18 for a CD. So when we got one free in the mail, we're like, whoa, this is like them sending a little butter gold.
Yeah, exactly. Ooh, pretty. What does it do?
Oh, it's laserish. So so we jumped to Rand. Rand is chasing Ravine, and he hits all kinds of little traps. First one is Stone Men. It says, suddenly the benches shifted, flowed, changed into faceless man shapes. Faceless man shapes, Ryan. That should be our band.
I love that band.
Is that a funk electronica band or
Faceless man shapes? Yeah. We'll just wear helmets. Still as white and hard looking as a stone, he had already learned the difficulty of changing something that Ravine had altered. Lightning danced from his fingertips, shattering stone men to shards. Next, the air became water, and he's like, "Oh, what?"
So real quickly, that line, he had already learned how to right. Like, go back to that real quick.
He had already learned the difficulty of changing something that Ravine had altered.
What does that mean?
I
Right, like let's get into that. Like Ravine altered it. He already learned the difficulty of altering it, but he's also already better at it, right?
No, he's saying that. Oh, Jesus! He's saying that if Ravine makes something change within the Tel'aran'rhiod, that it's hard for Rand to change it to something else or back to the way it was.
Right, and he also said that Ravine had tried to unmake him. End quote. So he had recognized that thing as being a trap by Ravine, I guess.
Right,
and maybe he was referencing that.
Yeah, I think so.
I thought.
I mean,
so
it's the
as well.
same.
I thought
It's
it
this.
was like wasn't it like his inner voice, like some of those memory voices that he was having that kind of led him to that, to like he recognized things. Is how it felt. It's not. Okay.
I mean, I think this is getting at the same thing we were talking about earlier with Nynaeve, right, Ryan? It was hard for Nynaeve to stop the attack that had been woven by Egwene. It's hard for Mogedion to change the collar that had been created by Nynaeve, right? It's along the same lines.
Right. I mean, Mogedion could not have. Yeah, that's a really good point. Right.
I love it.
Once something is created by something, it's really hard to unmake it. And Mogedion could not unmake Nynaeve's decision to collar her. Yeah, that's a good one. So, but apparently Rand, that may have been the same situation that Rand is in here now.
Yeah.
But he is fighting through it.
Yeah, but also on another level though, like Nynaeve was able to access.
You're popping again, bud.
Yeah. Nynaeve was able to access truths about Mogedion, real truths, like hard truths, like fundamental truths about like who Mogedion was and like
I think that was. You're right. I think you're right. I think like that's a part of what was interesting for me was that whole like them having like you guys don't hear music at all. I'm so sorry, but them having like that connection of like the collar and everything. So they understood each other. They had like that. I don't know. Is that what you're talking about, Ryan?
I think so. Yeah, of course.
I think it's the collar that's causing that to happen, Ryan, not because they're in the Tel'aran'rhiod together.
Because, like, didn't Elaine say that the collar didn't matter? Like, she came to this realization.
The chain doesn't matter.
Yep.
Which Nynaeve proves by disconnecting it.
The chain doesn't matter. So.
And she
guess
disconnected
that's what I mean.
at a
Like,
shame.
The chain doesn't matter, so it's just like an interesting fact.
It's just the bracelet and the collar
Yeah, and Nynaeve is able to understand kind of like what Moghedien is kind of going through, and recognizes like those feelings of fear at the beginning, and then goes on to recognize like the feelings of anger, which spur her on. I thought, and that's how I read it, but it goes on further in this chapter.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier. Yep.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I wasn't here for that. Mm-hmm.
She
No,
jumped
I'm
in
just
late,
agreeing
yeah.
with you.
Yeah.
Right on. Yeah. So, all right. So we are now with Rand. Rand is still chasing Ravine, and he steps into all kinds of traps. First one is the benches turn into stone men. He destroys them. Second one is the air turns to water, and there's all these like angry fish that start like
Piranhas.
fighting at him.
Yeah.
I mean, he is a Swan Sanche cliche right there.
Yeah, the pikefish.
Yeah.
Oh, nothing worse than caught up in a bubble
Lionfish
evil
or
with
yeah.
pikefish.
So
What's that, Dan?
they start eating at him. He balefires. Balefire is cheap here, guys. It's a total liquidation sale. Everything must go. All balefire must be done. All balefire. Boom, boom, boom. Then suddenly he's like, it says, quote, he was about to drown. He said he tried to think of air or the water being air. Suddenly it was.
It was.
He dropped hard to the paving stones. The long, small fish flopping about rolled over and pushed himself up. It was all air again. Even his clothes were dry.
I guess they are silver pike. They're long fish.
Who cares what
Yeah.
the fish are? I mean, it's fascinating that he's able to do that. He's like, oh, let me think real hard. Like, I used to think about that as a child and be like, okay, if I can think this hard enough, it'll happen, right? And it was like, that's what it felt like reading this part. It was like, oh my gosh, Rand is just like, if I think it, it'll happen. And it was
Hey,
so
I
much
remember
fun.
I read as a kid this story of a kid my age who had telekinesis powers. Who worked on them and
Yes.
developed them and could move shit with his mind, right? And I tried
You were convinced?
so many times to think that pencil rolled. I think it moved. I think
Totally.
Hey, it was your breath. It was always your breath, Sam.
Me too. No, I had that power also. I was certain I made my door shut. I was certain that when I needed to make my mother's door shut, it did.
See, a door
Unwind that one.
Here comes some
therapist.
layers.
That's like level 5. I was just trying to move a pencil like 1 centimeter.
No.
You're
Yeah,
trying to
like,
She was trying to heal her family systems.
Slam a door like The Exorcist.
Yeah.
Like you're the Omen, Damien. Rand is running. He still sees. He's like, oh look, there's a gateway remnant weave over there. I'm gonna go get it. Boom, boom, boom. I run. Turns out that was a trap, and Ravine starts turning him into an animal of some sort. It says, quote,
I'm going possum.
He felt woozy, almost as if he had been hit on the head. Long hair covered his hands. His fingers seemed to be shrinking, drawing back into his hands. They were almost paws. A trap. His
They were
legs seemed
almost
to bend
paws.
wrong.
I swear. This
and
was
he's
so
like,
weird, though.
Yeah, he's turning into an animal, and he's like, and it said he roared Ravine's name. It sounded like a beast's roar.
What the fuck? What the fuck is happening? During that moment in time? Is it just like Rafa or where's Josh?
Just crazy traps, man. You know, it's like
Crazy
booby
traps.
traps.
Like, is it like there's just like a plethora of stuff, like a little like mishmash of shit that could fuck with like either Matt, Brand, or Parent. It feels like. You know what I mean?
Well, booby traps. That's all I gotta say. Boobs.
But the boys in the book.
And then we jump to Nynaeve. Nynaeve is with Mogideon. There's shit going all around. Actually, so I wanted to ask you both this. I want to read this aloud and see what you have to say about this. Quote. Sometimes when they stopped, things happened. She had not seen any of it, but once the palace had rung like a struck bell, and another, the hair on her head had tried to stand up as the air seemed to crackle, and another, ... It did not matter. What the heck? What else? What did she gloss over there?
Wait. Which part?
It's right the second Nynaeve point of view in the chapter. It's like the first, but yeah, she says she's like mentioned something, and she's like, "Well, it does not matter." ...
She's like, "It doesn't matter."
I wonder.
I'm not even interested. Like, I think the important part is that she's experiencing them changing reality, whether that's creating the water, shooting the lightning, balefire hitting the building and ringing it like a bell.
Yeah.
I don't think it's meant to be anything untoward. It's just her saying. It's just her saying it's not that important. Like, we don't know what it is. That's how I read it. But
right on, fair enough. And as she says, it did not matter. But she did see a man running, and she's like, "That ain't Rand," and I'm chasing him. She runs upstairs. He goes upstairs. He goes upstairs. First landing, she paused. There's Ryan. Is this a drinking obligation? Nynaeve swallowed?
Yes.
Always.
Right.
Well, answering for Ryan.
Girl, heck yeah.
Always drink.
And let me see. So she's climbing up. She's trying to get to Ravine.
Yeah, she is.
And she sees him, right? Says, whatever. She said the hall was empty. She went to where it met the crossing corridor, peeked, and there he was, a tall, black-clad man, large, with wings of white in his dark hair. With sweat and effort on his face, but he seemed to be smiling. And she just unleashes fire. Says she filled the corridor around him with fire from wall to wall, floor to ceiling, pouring into it all of Sidar she held. Fire so hot the stone itself smoked. The heat made her flinch back. Ravine screamed in the middle of the flame.
It was one flame.
And then it cuts to Rand, and Rand is like, is this a drinking obligation, Ryan? Fingers of it filling every hole?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
That was one I was like, I was jumping up and down, but not really because I was in my car. So I was like riding. I was like, yes, that's a drinking obligation. Fingers in every hole. Yes.
The only drinking obligation I agree with in this chapter is fire thrust through the carved window screens above Rand. Fingers of it filling every hall.
What, you don't like Nynaeve swallowed? Josh.
Yeah.
Josh. Hold on, you don't like
Josh.
her breath came too fast?
Mm,
You don't like deliberately
you know what?
naive hardened?
Mr. Dovie's right. So,
What am I doing wrong here, guys?
so I mean, that's all. It's a
You don't
solid
like gaping
point.
holes?
Okay.
So Rand is down. He was the one getting like beat with all these traps. Apparently that was shit that Ravine was doing up in a balcony. Once Nynaeve sets fire to him, all that stuff ends. It says, quote, as it did, the struggle within him ceased abruptly. He was himself so suddenly, it was almost a shock. And Rand is like, he sees Ravine. Ravine is fucked, guys. It says, only this. All right. As Ravine stumbled backwards out of the colonnade, face turned to something inside. Ravine wreathed in fire, yet somehow standing as though untouched. If untouched now, it had not been so before. Only the size of the figure. The impossibility of it being anyone else told Ryan it was him. The Forsaken was a figure of char and cracked red flesh that would have strained any healer to mend. The agony of it must have been overwhelming, but Rand is not there to heal. He says, Ravine! And balefire flew from his hands, molten light thicker than a man. Thicker than a man, right?
Thicker than a man. We're talking girth, boy. Girth.
Yes.
See, Kay, is that a drink? I'm not asking you anymore, right? Kay, is that a drinking obligation?
You should just ask me. I mean, hello?
Yeah.
No, every answer is a yes with her.
All right. Because she yes ends.
She's the yes ander.
Cheers, brother Dan.
Cheers.
She comes from the land of yes and.
The balefire melts them away. It says Dark Hounds in Meridian had been moats before they vanished. Whatever kind of life they had struggled to continue, or the pattern struggled to maintain itself even with them. Before this, Ravine simply ceased. He wasn't even there. There wasn't even moats. And then it cuts to Nynaeve.
I needed a pen.
She's like, I'm gonna die, but I'm jumping in. She sees the liquid fire. Quote, so hot it made the fire she had made seem cool. So she made little Fonzie fire, huh? Okay, cool. Mogideon is weeping for
love you, brother Dan.
She thought she was fucked. Hey. And Rand and Nynaeve see each other. Rand looks ferocious. It says the blood on his face seemed to suit that face. Nynaeve heals him rather.
It does not matter though. So either one. Well,
she heals him.
It is healed, yes, but he or she, they, them, theirs doesn't matter.
We do see Nynaeve witness one of the flickers of Tel'aran'rhiod here after the balefire.
All right, talk to me. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
He did nothing that she could see or feel, of course. She could not. But for a moment, she thought the hallway behind him had turned in some way, but it did not look any different, except she blinked. There was no half-gone column in the colonnade behind him, no hole in the stone railing. So she does see it too.
Right. Things do reverse before her eyes, pretty much. Looking up at him, Nynaeve tried not to swallow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That seems like a.
She tried, but she did not succeed.
Josh, drink.
Drink.
I don't have anything to drink.
Sauce.
Hi, Ryan, in person.
Morgan,
He's not
John, and
here.
Gilderstern. I'm gonna go get another beer. I'll be back.
Yeah, there we go. There we go, brother Dan. Let's sit to that.
Yeah, it's you and me, baby. Hey, how's it going? Okay, I missed you. Let me just speak for the community in saying that your presence away from the show is a void. It's the ways, like where that IEL went. That's what you leave when the IEL fell and is just falling forever. That's the sized hole you left.
What?
I agree.
It sucks you're not here.
Well, thank you guys. Thank you very much.
Everyone in the audience misses you. It's just boring without you here.
Oh, right. Yeah, it's just boring. It's just a snooze fest. Yeah, it's so boring without me here. But no, it's not. But you guys are amazing. You're so sweet. And you guys have carried it on, and you're amazing. And you have incredible shit to say. Josh is like a powerhouse.
Well, you were
We need the case
like
of that.
lobster. It's like we feel luxurious when you're around. Like I said,
Luxuriate.
like lobster. We
That's
put on
funny. I
bits.
thought you said we were enjoying the screams as she was burning to death.
Yeah, right. And we crack open your forearms and eat the juice. Yeah, but before that,
It's like tie my bib.
Yeah, I know.
guys, is the drinking
Get my little hammer.
obligation, quote,
King.
a sink full of darkness?
No,
Fuck yeah.
we gotta move on, Dan. We gotta get to
Kay said, "Fuck yeah."
Well, that's we
Fuck
have
it,
to, that's an
and
issue.
we'll go on.
Yeah.
So, is it, so
No, we finished
This
the book.
morning I answered this.
Very happy.
Faulain is a dark friend.
Who? Faulain? Who's that?
Fallon?
Faulain?
Fallon?
So,
What?
Nynaeve watched her. That much should put her down quickly, referring to the fork root. Yet a cruel streak made her speak. She knew it was cruel and she did not care. Mogideon should not have any quiet rest at all. Quote, "You knew Birgitta was not dead." Mogideon's gaze narrowed slightly.
Oh.
You knew who Faulain is. The other woman's eyes tried to widen, but she was already drowsy. Nynaeve could feel the fort root's effect spreading. She concentrated on Mogideon, held there in Tel'aran'rhiod. No easy sleep for one of the Forsaken. And you knew who Swan is, and that she used to be the Amerlin seat. I've never mentioned that in Tel'aran'rhiod, never. I'll see you very shortly in Saladar.
What the fuck? I love you, Josh. Boom!
So who is? We've met a couple of the sisters in Saladar. Do you think that Mogideon is there? And if so, who may she be?
Faulain? Maybe?
Do you think it's Fallon? So she just called out her alter ego?
Maybe?
Up
Yeah,
until
who
now, we
else
just
could
know
she
that
be?
Fallon was just over exuberant in her punishments and her
Right.
sense of
Yeah. But in theory, all Nynaeve has to do now is go and find who's sleeping on the fork root, who can't use the one power, who's frozen, and then that's who she is.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, at the end of this, Nynaeve steps out of the dream.
Steps out of the dream.
Yeah,
Interesting.
and then we go back to Rand.
And then we go to
Rand.
glowing. Oh. Go on.
So
Who?
Rand is still chasing, to a certain degree, Ravine. He blows open doors. He had thrown Balefire, but he did not know if that person, if Ravine died, more or less. He goes upstairs, or hold on, let me see. Again, I didn't mark this up. So look at the great courtyard. All right, so he goes out into the courtyard actually, and there's still a bunch of Trollocs and Myrddraal fighting.
Right.
And he's all, hell yeah. Balls of fire rolled through the packed black-mailed mass, and burning Trollocs lay everywhere.
I just remembered something.
So didn't
men have a vision about one of the refugee women being trouble?
Yes.
Was it Phelan?
No.
I wonder. No, but I think Faline must be a dark friend. Possibly Mogideon's one of those refugee women?
No.
Maybe that's what Min's vision was about.
Oh no. I know
Okay.
you
Right
I know what you're saying.
Right on.
What? Go on.
Just say right on.
Right on.
I forget who it was.
Right
I thought it was about all three of them, but I don't remember if it was about one of them specifically. Anyhow, sorry, I just remembered that.
Yeah, that's a fabled prediction of the Playboy Tower.
Rand is still using Balefire, although not quite as recklessly. He is just
very precision shots of Balefire. Yeah. Pew pewing.
He's pew pewing. I liked this line. The first struck Myrddraal seemed to reverse colors, becoming a white-clad black shape. Then it was drifting motes that vanished as its horse fled madly. It became what is it that filter where it's like reverse black and white? Kay, you know this. When you hit a filter and suddenly it looks like it's like reverse black and white.
Oh, right, where it does like the color
sepia tone.
enhancement thing. No, it's not sepia. It does like that color enhancement thing where, yeah, the real vibrant color of the image that you want to enhance, like the person standing in the middle is wearing all red, and they're like red and like colorful, but the background is black and white.
The negative image?
No, I'm talking where it almost looks like a night vision. Where
I know it's talked about, Josh. I don't know what talk word that is. I'm kidding. He's all, oh my god, what has happened?
So Rand he wipes out all the Trollocs and Myrddraal. He turns opposite sepia tone. I don't remember the fucking filter. There's a filter that like where your eyes like suddenly look like they're all
negative.
black.
The negative image, isn't it?
Negative image. Yeah, that's what
I just said that.
Oh,
Okay.
that.
I didn't hear
Oh, that's very different than what I was
hear
thinking.
every word you say, Josh.
Sorry, Dan. We're good.
Avienda is alive. Avienda kills the
Oh my
Trolloc.
gosh.
He's like, Avienda, there's Matt. There's Asmodean. What? The big gang's all together. He's super stoked. He had seen his best friends die. You know, the first person he had sex with die. His teacher die.
All right, Chris. Sorry. Tell us what that felt like.
When they died?
Yes.
When they came back?
No, when they died. Did you think they're coming back?
No, I didn't think they were coming back. Why would I think they were fucking coming back? I was devastated.
Josh, did you think they were coming back?
A little bit, but it was so surprising that they came back that I was like, I still don't totally believe it, but it's like, oh, they're just back. Cool.
Yeah, cool, right?
I expected them to come back. Yeah, I don't know. There was something about the way the first passage was written that indicated that it couldn't stay that way. Like there was no way Matt and Avienda could die. I don't know.
Like, right, Avienda maybe, but Matt, no. Right? Like,
There's something about how it was written that indicated that it wasn't going to stay that way. I don't remember exactly. I don't know. I couldn't put my finger on exactly what, but it was just a feeling I had.
Okay, cool.
I guess it's a mercy that they don't remember dying.
Well, Asmodean does, which Rand even wonders about. Well, he doesn't remember, but he knows that it happened.
He knows that something happened. Yeah, and Avienda mentioned, but she doesn't understand. She says, where did you go? 1 second you were there, the next you were gone. But it's because she she came back to life and or whatever, and he wasn't there.
Yeah. Or she never died.
Well, Did Matt
Depends on how Balefire works. Balefire eliminated him from the pattern.
It was like the rewind feature in Assassin's
Yeah, but that's the
Creed.
thing. Did it rewind, or did we just jump to a separate branch of causality?
Oh, that's a God damn it, Josh. That's a good point. Did
Time
we
Traveler's
hop
Paradox.
Did we hop the rails and jump on a different track?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much how the chapter ends. He's like, "Hey, all my friends are back." He's like, "Yeah, kill all the Trollocs in the thing. Quote, hunt them down. However long it takes. I want them released on the countryside." And that's it, man. He's like, "Ravin's dead, right? Right, Nynaeve?" And she's like, "Right."
Right.
That's where we're at. We got his friends back to life, and Ravine is dead. Is there anything I missed that you want to talk about this chapter? I'm sure I glanced over a bit, but is there anything that you wanted to address?
No, I think we're good.
Okay. Then we go to chapter 56. Ryan, you want to close
The
this out?
last chapter of Fire.
Let's finish this,
Fire
baby.
Heaven. Glowing embers. Right? It's the aftermath of the battle. And we have a visitor. His name is TAVERN Bashir. He comes in. He has a...
Somebody's daddy.
Well, right, whose?
Parents' wife.
Right,
Well, and here's what you to touch on your point, Josh. It says here, quote, Asmodean sat on a bench in the shade of a red myrtle tree playing his harp. Rand wondered whether the man knew what had happened or suspected. He should have no memory. For him, it never happened. But who could say what one of the Forsaken knew or could reason out?
Yeah, because he died and it was back, but like, could he register?
But I mean, yeah, there's no memory. For him, it never happened, which is a fun thought to have. It never happened. Like in time, I mean, I don't know, guys. Is there anything in your life that you wish you could just Balefire?
yeah. Just last 5 minutes of the show. Yeah, so...
Yeah, hi, Kay.
Hey,
Oh,
baby.
I was like, oh my gosh. Can anybody hear me? Oh, fuck.
Alright, so this is the last chapter.
Yeah.
TAVERN Bashir enters the line.
I was saying I wish I could Balefire some shit out of my life, so I just agree with, like,
right.
yeah.
I hope it does not start with an R and a Y.
Yeah, it's the whole last year, Ryan.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Pretty much, it starts with a 2022. Kidding. Never ever.
I'm sorry, I'm
so
lost.
for real though, Davin motherfucking Basher just walks up to Brand and is like, "What's up? I will give you 9,000 Iliander Saldian horsemen, right?" And there's this whole.
They want to keep. He wants to keep everyone alive. Everyone that can channel Rand wants to keep alive. Are we there yet?
So, no, you're right. So Rand offers the amnesty, right? Davin Bashir comes down with him and he says, wait. Here's the amnesty. And the amnesty is that every male channeler should be allowed to live. If I'm allowed to live, every male channeler should be allowed to live, which is crazy. And I want to hear your thoughts, guys. What do you think? Josh, what do you think about the amnesty, Josh?
Here's the line, Ryan. Let me read it aloud.
He's
talking to Bashir, and he says, quote, "I am announcing an amnesty. I can channel Lord Bashir. Why should another man be hunted down and killed or gentled because he can do what I can do? I will announce that any man who can touch the true source, any man who wants to learn, can come to me and have my protection. The last battle is coming, Bashir. There may not be time for any of us to go mad before, and I would not waste one man for the risk anyways. In the Trollocs Blight and the Trolloc War, they did
I don't really have so much.
Mine, Lord Bashir, not yours.
It feels natural to me. It doesn't bother me at all. I mean, if anything, I think it predicts that we're going to see something like the White Tower for male channelers that Rand creates. Some sort of brotherhood of channelers,
like Black
so to speak.
Tower type of.
And that they will somehow factor in. My prediction is that group will somehow factor into the future of the story.
What do you think about Mazrim Taim?
What do you mean? What's to think about him?
Oh,
I don't think anything about him.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't lose sleep over that kid. All right.
I don't think Rand has to worry. Rand's so much more powerful than any other man who can channel who's not a Forsaken. Like, he doesn't have anything to worry about.
Well,
Josh, and if anything, he can go to them and say, check it out. Like, I can help you.
How many men do you think can channel, though?
I would guess a lot.
We've heard of 2.
I would imagine that a lot of them can channel.
Well, I think we've talked about this before, but my theory is that, like, wherever wherever the city of Dark Friends is, that there's a bunch of people who can channel there.
It's called New Orleans.
Right? Like, only in the quote-unquote good, the light part of the world have men who have channeled been stilled. In the dark half of the world, where the Great Lord rules, there's no reason for any man who can channel to have been stilled, killed, or gentled.
Okay.
And if in fact they've probably been encouraged. So somewhere there's many men who can channel.
Okay. And
in fact, we know that some men who can channel go off into the Blight to seek to kill the dark people.
They go to
What if they're picked up by the Dark Friends social group and like made into powerful channelers under the Great Lord? I don't know. I mean, I'm just theorizing here, but like,
right.
No, I love it, man. I mean, yeah. So, what's the percentage of females who can channel versus men who can channel in your head?
Well, it depends on what half. It's probably, if you're talking about the part where people reference, worship the light, then yeah, they spent generations culling this ability from families and killing all the people who can channel. So it's probably much fewer in that part of the world than the other part of the world where people worship the Dark One, right? Like, I mean, that's just me theorizing again, but I mean, that's so. how many people will Rand find in like the sane light worshipping part of the world? Probably not that many, but more than a few, I would imagine.
Do this. What? How do you think the Shanchin handle male channelers? We heard that Rand said that, nah, you kill them all. I mean, do they? Do you think?
I mean, couldn't men who can channel go to a steading to survive?
In theory.
Like, if you can't feel the one power, the taint can't drive you mad, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in theory, there could be humans living inside of steadings who are channelers, who are sane still because they haven't been engaging with the taint.
Oh, interesting. So there may be a steading that. Just
I don't know if there are other places. Like, what does that mean? Like, how do the Sanshin or the sea people, the Tuathan Ameri or whatever? Wait, what's the name of the sea people?
The Tuath, your mom.
Tuathan Ameri, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Tuathan Ameri. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, something like that.
Right. So they might have male channelers. I mean, if there's no reason to kill them, like if they're not taught wind finding, what do they do? Yeah, we don't know. We don't know enough about the other cultures of the world yet.
All we've seen from the other cultures is we have seen female channelers and we have not seen male.
And they trust their female channelers enough to not put them under an oath rod.
Say again?
That's what's so sad and weird about the Western culture that Rand and all of these other people we've met are a part of, is that they don't trust female channelers enough to not have them be under the oath rod. The oath rod is a way to limit, to keep in check people who can channel's ability, women who can channel's ability, right? Because of the breaking of the world and their lack of trust of people, anyone who can wield that type of power. But the Windfinders are not, and the wise women, the wise ones are not under an oath rod. We've talked about this before, but it's like, I think that's an important point. Not every culture, only this Western culture that we've been associated with so far through all the characters of the book, put women who can channel under this duress. The rest of the cultures we've met, I guess the Sanshin do it even more severely through the Adam. But all the rest of the cultures seem to laud and put those women into places of power, as opposed to limiting them through some mechanism.
Okay.
So presumably they do the same thing for men? I don't know.
Let me ask you one further unrelated question. Are there any maidens that can channel that are not wise ones? Or
I mean,
do they
Avienda was
recognize
one.
channelers and direct them towards the wise one track, I guess.
How did they know? We don't know how the wise ones knew that Avienda would become a wise one.
Correct.
Was there some test that they gave her, or was it something one of them is able to notice through the one power? I don't know.
Okay. Okay. Well,
Interesting question.
And I don't know is the one of the most valid answers you could have. I mean, for real, it's. I mean, I'm throwing shit at you, and you're hitting all my curveballs and my knuckleballs and my spitters and my sliders and my force.
It's interesting thought. I'm gonna think on that some more. I don't know. We'll see. I guess we'll see.
Okay. Okay, Ryan, back to the chapter. Bashir.
All right. Yeah, so Davern Bashir arrives very dramatically. And he says that Mazrim Taim is an Andor. And he brings up the amnesty. He basically says, you cannot have Mazrim Taim. I am creating the amnesty. an email channeler that. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the line, Majum Taim is mine, Lord Bashir, not yours.
Fail Bashir.
All right, and yeah, Dan.
What do we make of the symbolism of Bashir showing up with the 2 goblets and the wine already in hand? Like, it's not explained, but clearly there's something going on there. Or am I over-reading that?
I don't think so. It mentions it again. It says Rand swirled the goblet, staring down into the dark red wine. Why mention it if it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah. And they mention that he comes in carrying them under his arm, right? It's like
just a pimp guest who's like, "Hey, I brought some of the good stuff." I don't know.
That's
let's
totally
see. He
it.
carried
Just
2 silver goblets in one hand and a sealed pottery jar in the other. Yeah, I'd love to know more about what that ceremony means,
Can you guys
or
hear
if it's a
me?
ceremony at all.
Yeah, and he says, "Forgive my intrusion, but there were no one to announce me."
Right.
Isn't Rand always surrounded by like 500 maidens?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Hey guys, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
We can.
Oh, you can. Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay, so then Asmodean, we go to Asmodean's point of view.
Yeah, so Kay and Josh, you give the tragic ending to Asmodean. Talk. Ryan and I aren't going to talk. You go ahead and talk.
Well, I love that
tragic end
he
of
mentions
Asmodean?
that he's been reborn. Idly, but with a shiver too, he wondered whether being reborn in this fashion made him a new man.
Oh, reborn, right?
Yeah.
So he does know what happened. Not only... So it's not just a rewind in time, but a literal rebirth. Immortality is gone. That was a gift of the Great Lord. He used that name in his head, whatever Althor demanded of his tongue. That was proof enough he was himself, immortality gone. He knew it must be imagination, yet sometimes he thought he could feel time dragging at him, pulling him towards a grave he had never thought to meet. Funny thought that then comes true just a few paragraphs later. He pulled open a small door, intending to find his way to the pantry. There should be some decent wine. One step and he stopped, the blood draining from his face. You? No!
No!
The words still hung in the air when death took him. So I wrote to our text thread about this. It took me a while to figure out who the fuck this could be. And what I came upon eventually was that this has to be one of the other 2 Forsaken who were teaming up with Ravine against Rand. So it has to be either Samael or Grendel
or Lanfear?
Grendel, Lanfear, or Samael.
Mm-hmm.
From the way he says it, maybe it's Grendel. I know he thinks that she's evil
because
and
like
cruel.
Grendel feels like the most like.
But I don't know. I don't really know how to tell. But that's the only thing that makes sense. After thinking it through.
No, I love it. I love it.
Can you hear me?
Definitely took me an hour of thinking about that before I was like, oh, okay.
All right, Kay, we hear you. Kay, can you hear us? Can you hear us, Kay? Kay, can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
Can you hear us? Kay, can you hear us? Can you hear us? Kay, can you hear us?
But can you hear me?
Yes.
I can hear you, but can you hear me?
I can't hear her, Ryan.
You can't hear me, Josh?
Who's talking?
Josh can't hear me?
Who's Ryan?
I don't think Josh can hear me. Can Josh hear me?
Kay, can you talk?
I'm
One,
talking. I'm talking currently.
I hear a very
1,
faint
2,
voice.
3.
Oh
four,
my god!
five.
I
What
think
the
Josh is trolling you right now.
It's like I hear wind chimes and it like from a gentle breeze.
Oh
No, I
my
really
God.
can't hear.
Oh, really?
I don't.
That's
I
weird,
really
Josh.
Don't think he
Josh,
can.
I hear Kay perfectly.
I hear
I
her fine.
really don't think
do?
that he can hear me because
Alright, I'm gonna leave and
if
come
he
back
could-
then.
If he
That's
could hear
crazy.
me, then we would have a much better conversation.
Josh's computer decided to just block you, Kay.
I don't see that she's in the stream either.
What?
Are you sure you're not? Are you sure you're not hearing her over Discord? Maybe.
I may have died.
Well, we lost Josh.
I
He's
was
coming
like,
back.
I'm just gonna eat a plant
Base what?
chicken nugget. Like, which
Oh,
is not
are they
chicken.
good?
They're very good.
Just-
Can you hear Kay now?
I can see her now too. Yeah, I can. I don't know what happened there. That was weird. I like got frozen in some version of the show that didn't have you in it. All right. So then what? We go to
It was
Morgase's
for a
point of view.
while.
Yeah, it ends with more gays.
It was. So she has the hots for Talonvor. She doesn't want to admit it to herself, but Lenny notices it and points it out.
Yep.
Talonvor treats her with diffidence and not respect, which she kind of
Lenny's like
finds
a little
hot,
mom.
but also pisses her off.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
See, exactly. Or like a jealous lesbian.
As powerful as Sidime. As powerful.
Amadisia.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Is this a drinking obligation? Taking out of context the phrase, the wood
That's
gives
not-
way.
Sure, Dan.
Thank you.
Yes,
the end of
Dan.
the book?
So cute. I love you all. I love all the
She
comments.
healed her mount hard.
Oh my god.
That was another one.
Yeah, she did.
She healed that.
There's
Oh
been
my
so many in here. I've been like trying to talk to you, and I'm like, Discord. Anyway, missed you all.
Woe to Gabriel or any man who thought he could sit on it in her place.
That's right.
Fuck.
Sit on it,
we were
Ralph.
getting
now.
effort. The Jordaned up tonight.
Dude, Lenny just
Getting
like
Jordaned up tonight.
only speaks in quotes.
Yeah, she is
Lenny
the
is
cliche
a-
machine.
Yes, she is.
Which doesn't that feel like if you only speak in bumper stickers and things that are stitched on pillows, you're like a little weird? Like,
Yeah,
that's just
you're a
not,
little weird.
That's not a normal thing. So you're a little weird. I don't totally trust you because you don't have any thoughts of your own. So if you're
Exactly.
speaking
Nothing
like
original.
that- yeah, nothing original. So if you're speaking like that, like Lenny is, I don't totally trust this bitch. If she's
Well,
original.
yeah, it's like, hey, what? Well, the wheel weaves as the wheel. I mean, it's the same thing. We do end with a
I had drinking obligations.
some shrapnel from the Glory of the Dragon, composed by Marina Salt out here from the Fourth Age.
I love them.
Josh and Kay, I will read this
Yeah.
aloud, and I want you to tell me if this Fourth Age is in the future or in the past.
And Dan is obsessed.
Yeah, I was. And the glory of the light did shine upon him, and the peace of the light did he give men, binding nations to him, making one of many. Yet the shards of heart did give wounds, and what was once did come again, in fire and in storm, splitting all in twain. For his peace was the peace of the sword, and the glory of the light did shine upon him.
Are you saying past, present, future?
This is from a Fourth Age.
This is from the 60s. Peace.
Yeah.
Peace. Peace.
long, beautiful hair.
This is the way.
Hair.
All right, let's end the show,
I
bro.
think the future.
We have
You think in the future?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay.
No, I like it. I like the future thing, but I also think it's in the past. I think it's in the past and the future, actually. Maybe it's simultaneous. Who the fuck knows at this point?
Who knows?
Feels-
Ryan, do we want to spend 5 minutes talking about the entirety of the book? Anything? Or
No. It's
Okay.
3 hours. We're let's
Okay,
go to
bye,
bed.
guys.
The entirety of the book was good.
Bye,
It was
everybody.
good. That we are going to
Bye, everybody.
celebrate
Thanks for
with
sticking
the
around with
Fires
us.
Of Heaven. Fires of Heaven. And the next book is Chaos of...
Go have fun.
Yes.